Welcome in. We are at the Omaha Baseball Village for the final time this year. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, Nick Grimm. We are so warm. Hi, Jack.
Last day of the College World Series, but first day for me.
Yeah, what is it like? You're finally down here.
It's exciting. I'm ready to soak up the next few hours of fun, and we're ready to go. Texas A&M, Tennessee. Let's go.
Wow, look at that.
It's fired up.
Give me your breakdown. Give me your keys. Let's do keys right away.
Get that SEC a championship in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want to see. Is when they're arm in arm at the end of the night, these people in orange and maroon, SEC, and everyone's winners, right? They'll be at the bars hugging, buying one another.
We did it again.
There's no loser in this game.
No.
The conference has already won the championship.
The losers are us.
They have already delivered the championship to the trophy to the conference offices. It's actually not here tonight. A lot of people don't know that.
The losers are our seats that we are sitting on right now as they soak up the sweat that is dripping down off of our bodies.
I just had the moment already, and you guys know what I'm talking about when you can feel that you're wearing loose clothing on purpose and you get that individual drip of sweat that starts at your neck, goes right down. I don't want this to get too sexy, but goes down the small of your back,
wow.
in between your shoulder blades,
Jack,
then down to your lower back. You can feel it. And then depending on what exactly how loose fitting a pants you're wearing.
Nice.
Down into another crevice, and it makes the full journey. It's amazing.
Nice.
I just felt that. It was beautiful.
Wow. Well, welcome in. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, a special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell with you today. We'll be hanging out here until 5:45. 5:45 is when we will say see you later, and we'll send it up to Kevin Kugler, Scott Graham, and John Bishop, who will be roaming the outside somewhere. Can you imagine having to do sideline reporting on a day like today?
Yeah, well, with Connor, at least he's got that hat that he's worn when he does, and I'm sure
famously, yes.
I don't think John wears the Crocodile Dundee hat.
No, he wears. Happer wears that. John just puts stuff in his hair. He's just hanging out with his head.
Wait, is he trying to be stuff in his hair like mousse?
I don't know what John uses. He calls it product. He's talking to me. He puts product in his hair,
and that to stay looking good on TV.
I think, even though he's not on TV.
On radio?
That's true. I went up to the booth a couple times over the last week and change. Every time I saw him, his hair looked great. John Bishop, famously very good hair.
Yeah, how come he doesn't have any hair endorsements?
Great question. I always try to compliment him. We all do. Hey, John, great hair. And he's like, stop it.
John Bishop here for Vidal Sassoon.
Oh, I've never heard of that, but
that's an old one. That
sounds like something that John would use.
John Bishop here for Paul Mitchell.
There you go. Yeah, again, something I don't know about, but seems like something that he would.
You really don't know much about hair products.
I don't. I have hair product that I use only when I go to weddings.
John
or
Bishop
if I'm announcing a game.
Suave.
Boom. Heard of that before.
John Bishop here for Herbal Essences.
Oh, okay. There we go. See, now you're starting to say the things that are at Walmart.
Herbal.
Yeah, herbal.
You don't pronounce that H, do you?
Herbal. Coming up on the show today, we'll have Mitch Sherman at 3:30. He'll join us on the phone. But then in person, friend of the Grum, Ryan McGee will stop by.
All right.
Ryan is a Tennessee grad. Every time we see him, I always love asking him how the Tennessee group chat is going, so we can talk about the Tennessee group chat today. I'll probably sneak in a couple of college football questions as well, and we'll just see. Go Vols, says that guy. Maybe Ryan McGee knows that guy.
Maybe.
So, yeah, he knows Ryan McGee. He'll be joining us here at 5 o'clock. Ryan's stopping by at 5 o'clock.
There you go. Come on back.
There we go. Yeah, so otherwise, it'll just be us talking about how warm we are. That's
pretty much it.
I said as the lead was gained yesterday by the Vols, I immediately thought about how excited I am for tonight when I get home and I can take a shower. I just started fantasizing about a shower that was more than 24 hours away.
This has been a hot show already so far.
Yeah. You're talking about your neck and your back. I'm talking about my shower. I was thinking about it, Jack, because you know how people will do those rankings of like best beer. And like some people are like the one at the airport as you're on your way to vacation. Some will say, of course, the post-lawn mowing beer. Many love the post-lawn mowing beer. So I was thinking about that from the standpoint of a shower. And I don't know why. Like you could play golf, 4 or 5 hours outside, and you're going to get gross. I famously go for runs, from time to time. I'm going to get gross. But there is something about getting gross when you're not even doing anything. We will be sitting here for the next 4 hours, and we will be I'm already pretty disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's something about getting gross on a day like today when you're not even partaking in a physical activity that makes that shower afterwards even better. And you, Jack, you get to enjoy your musk for a whole extra hour as you leave Omaha and go
in
home.
A confined area of my car that I will then later get in tomorrow morning and go to work after. I want to leave the windows down.
Yeah, you're going to get in the car and you're going to be like, oh, it smells like yesterday at the College World Series.
Do you think people, is this hot to people from Tennessee and Texas?
Good question. I should have asked that guy who likes Ryan McGee.
They were complaining about the heat, but they're from, from Tennessee, right?
I mean, it is 100 degrees today.
But Texas, though, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Texas, this is their stuff,
Are you warm today? Is this hot?
Is it hot? Is it
She
hot?
loves it.
Wow.
All right.
Texans love it.
All right, maybe we're just the babies.
That's what I thought.
Maybe
is that a slight home field advantage situation for the Aggies tonight?
Good question that they all love this weather.
Kind of like when all these teams from the South come up to Lincoln for playoff football games in December.
Oh.
Hello. I said that.
Hello. Along those lines, we'll talk some football today. Of course, we are here at the College World Series, so why would we not talk about football? Mitch Sherman is going to join us, as I mentioned, and there was something he was asked his first mailbag question in today's column was asked about the idea of that 7-0 start. And Mitch wrote that they could open 5-2 or 6-1 and still call it a good start. And so I wanted us to dive into the dividing line between a good start in the first 7 and a bad start in the first 7. And maybe it's as simple as 5-2 or better is good, 4-3 or worse is bad. But we can opine about that. We can discuss that
That's good.
A little bit later on. This is something that we were going to get to last week. Never had time. And then when Stibbs filled in, it was just 4 hours of playing the Hawk Tua drop over and over and over. But the 18th NFL game and how you famously play fantasy football.
Famously,
you are one of
two-time champion.
The few Americans, which triggers, I think, people like Mike Schaefer to no end because he views himself as smarter than you in NFL, and yet you beat him sometimes.
Yeah, he has no championships, famously.
That's a tough look.
He has an empty fireplace with nothing on the ledge.
That's a tough look for someone who does watch a lot of NFL, famously has a lot of NFL takes. He views you as an idiot, and yet you have beat him not once but twice.
I have been in the league approximately 15 years longer than he has, but I have one since he's been in the league too.
Sure.
I have 2 fingers.
So we can talk about 18 games, maybe from the fantasy football perspective, but also just from the on-field, what does it mean perspective. We can do that.
A Ferris wheel's running. Update. Breaking news. The Ferris wheel is now running.
Yeah, Jack saw it earlier. He said the Ferris wheel's not running, and Nick goes, yeah, because it's too hot. And Jack said, huh?
Listen,
I don't think that's a rule.
If we're putting a temporary Ferris wheel, I assume this is temporary. This isn't going to be here for good. No,
you are correct. It will not be here in the winter.
Ferris wheel up. I feel like on Championship Monday, if of any day, this is like the Super Bowl for the Ferris wheel. I would think, right? Yeah.
You can pop on the microphone there, Nick. All right, Nick doesn't want to talk.
Okay, well,
all right, never mind.
I can't hear a damn word he says.
Oh. Yep. Hey, there you are, Nick. What did you say?
They turn it off at 6:30. It's all arbitrary.
There you go. They turn it off at 6:30. It's all arbitrary. They turn it off at 6:30.
Yeah.
Keep it up there for Creighton basketball, I say.
Yeah, in the heart of December or January.
Yeah,
exactly. Can you imagine that February night? You're coming down for Creighton and DePaul.
But first,
you hit up the Ferris wheel.
Go in, maybe have a couple of quarter beers or whatever they do there.
Beer night.
Whatever they basically give away beer at those games, then come out, warm up.
People love dollar beer night.
I bet they do.
The worst time of year to be on a Ferris wheel in the middle.
I don't know, but
good question.
I don't know.
I would say hell yes. That sounds awful.
The fan base could show how tough they are by keeping it out there and riding it during the basketball season.
John writes, I was lucky enough to have the air conditioning stop working in my pickup over the weekend. Can't wait for the drive home today.
Always had. Hey, shout out. You know what? A quick salute to everyone in the HVAC industry today.
Oh, yes, you're doing Lord's work.
Man, I'll tell you what. I've had it happen many times in my life that this is always the week when the air conditioning of some sort goes out at the house. Always. And you're calling these dudes or people to come over, and they just look miserable, and they're rushing all around. So shout out, salute to the HVAC workers in town today.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, our washer broke, and we didn't get it. Like normally, our apartment complex is pretty good. A lot of people complain about their apartments and how long it takes. Like Nick famously has never talked to someone there. He's like, hey, my whatever doesn't work, and they're like, all right, see you later. But my apartment complex is pretty good. They show up, usually within a few hours, let alone a day. It took them like 2 or 3 days to get there to fix the washer because the ACs.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, I've just been doing that all day. And I said, oh, fun, a different thing for you to do. And I was like, we walked into the room and he started looking at it. And I was like, yeah, so it's been, and he did a couple things and he's like, it's this and this and this. I'll be done within a few minutes. And I was like, yeah, he was spinning things. He was pressing buttons. He was like, yeah, it's this. See, this shows this and this. I'm like, awesome, bro. Thank you.
Meanwhile, I put a work order in for my garbage disposal in November.
There you go. See? November, famously.
So you still got some turkey bones down there and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
Turkey bones.
That's gross.
So you probably had to get, when your washing machine breaks, you got to get a little deeper in the wardrobe, right? That's when you want to make sure that's when you want to make sure.
Good.
That's when you're adding shorts in the off season, right? You want to make sure you got a deep shorts room.
Yeah.
Right? You got to make sure.
And so that's when and the series had just started, Jack. It was not good because I had 3 days worth of College World Series clothes.
Not good.
This is not good. And so I didn't realize.
Going to run out of clothes.
Dude, I didn't realize that it was broken until the washer didn't run. So I put everything in, it fills up with the water, and then it went, and it stopped. It didn't even make the first turn of the cycle. And I was like, well, this isn't good. And so then I was like, I wonder if it can spin. So at the very least, I can bring the water all the way out. And it did. And so I was like, all right, let's see. So I pulled out some stuff. I smelled it, and I was like, doesn't smell horrible, but it had some of the residue of the washing machine little pod that we put in there on it. So I air dried like all of like the workout type stuff, my polos, my compression shorts. And then I put everything else in the dryer just because I didn't want wet clothes sitting around. And then a few days later, I rewashed it all, which was very, very nice. But it was only a couple days into the series. Like I couldn't wear my zone jersey down to the Omaha Baseball Village because it was stinky.
Sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Do you ever wish you had like a sports reference type website for your wardrobe? And be like, well, this one was the debut was in 2007.
I've never thought of this before.
2007. Some of the highlights that I was wearing.
I wore this for blank.
Right? You have it years worn per times worn per year. I gained a little weight here, so I didn't wear it as much, but it's made a little bit of a comeback.
How many stopping you from doing that? You could just do that.
Jack,
honestly, it would be Listen, if I could pull that up right now, I'd definitely be interested.
What about moving
wardrobe?
What about moving forward? Like you get every time you get a new you love famously buying shorts from Costco or whatever.
Sam's or Costco.
And then you make that joke to your family and nobody laughs.
Right. Yeah, I'm always like, they're always like, well, I picked that. Yes.
You want to tell the joke?
I can't even think of the joke.
Yeah, I thought it was something like, folks,
oh yeah, this is yes. I was like, we're not gonna be able to go out to eat for a month because I just spent $11 on this shirt.
Bingo.
Like the shirt I'm wearing literally right now, which is about its third wear, right? It's in its
early days.
It's in its rookie season.
It doesn't have armpit sweat on it.
It's a good candidate for rookie of the year shirt though.
Oh, nice.
I would say,
Jack, I think that moving forward with your next item of clothing that you get, you love doing Excel spreadsheets and all sorts of things. I think that this could be your new bit.
You could have like every year you could name your all-star like starting outfit.
Oh my gosh, I love this idea.
Of all of this.
Lucky shirt of the year.
You've got retirements every year too, and you bring in
when you retire a shirt,
hot young studs.
When you retire a shirt, does it turn into like a nighttime? Like for me tonight, I'm gonna go home, like I mentioned, shower. I will pull out the nighttime shirts, which have pit stains, things like that. What?
I mean, geez, I would just get rid of those.
But it's a night shirt.
I mean, I have some things I wear at night, but they don't have like visible stains or anything like that.
I mean, it's just a little crusty.
It's like playing on the PGA Champions Tour after a while, right? Or whatever they call it now, the Corn Ferry Tour or whatever it is.
The Corn Ferry is for the golfers who aren't good enough.
Oh, okay, whatever.
You start making
the senior tour.
You're talking about
your different shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
The senior tour. You go into the senior tour. You're right. Wearing at night. Yes, you're out of your regular clothes.
Old boxers.
Post-workout, post-shower at night.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or the famously lawn mowing, of course.
Right. It's like, it's like when those baseball, what are they talking about? I just heard Connor talking about Robinson Cano playing in some baseball league and dominating in, I don't know what it is, some old timers league or something like that. Right? That's basically what it is. But now I want to do this.
All right.
Like actually
new bit.
You could actually just do it with you could have an app on your phone. I'm thinking through this live right now.
Oh, this is an amazing idea.
You could have a barcode on all of your clothes, and then every time you put it on during the day, it starts getting your stats for that, for that shirt. You can go back and backlog everything if you want to.
What if Jack, what if this is one of those times you put in the dryer and for whatever reason the dryer's having an issue and so you have to dry it like 2 times over? Then you can make a marking like, hey, I had to go run through the dryer, so it might lose its luster a little quicker than some of the other ones.
Right. And then
this is an incredible app idea.
And then you've got your Hall of Famer, you go back what's your oldest item in your closet that you still wear regularly. I think I can probably solidly go back to about 2006.
Whoa, what is that item? Is that a shirt?
It's just this button-up short sleeve shirt that is just stood the test of time.
Oldest?
It was high value. It was high value draft pick at the time. You know, looked like it was going to be about a 5th, 6th rounder.
Mine might be 2016.
Whoa,
2016.
2015.
Whoa,
2015 is your oldest piece of clothing?
Yeah.
I have a hoodie from 2017 that I don't wear out and about. It's my get home from work and put on a comfortable.
That's your oldest thing in your closet?
No, it's just something that I can think of. I have some stuff that's older. So the oldest hoodie that I wear, and again, I don't ever wear it out because it is frayed and gross, but it's just, I love it so much, is this Cowboys hoodie that I got in 2012. So it's 12 years old.
I would say I have got multiple things I wear out that are over a decade old.
That is awesome. I just put out a prompt on Twitter.
You know what that is?
What's the oldest item of clothing you own that you still wear?
Josh, you know what that is? That's good drafting. What that is, right? It's the front office knowing what they're doing, evaluating talent, that kind of stuff.
My dad had this old FFA hoodie from the 80s that he gave to me when I was in middle school. I wore that a bunch.
Even better when you can pass it on to the next GM.
Ian says, nice. Ian says, I have a big red welcome shirt I wore yesterday from 2001.
Great work.
Wow, that's
great work.
Shout out Nebraska then. So you get to college and your shirt from that still
And you know what? He probably had to do a little load management along the way to make sure you don't burn them out too.
Not to mention, I mean, an unspoken part of this whole discussion is weight gain, weight loss. That's going to change. It's going to change your relationship.
People don't know this, but I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
Where are we at with used shirts? So say it's from 2001, but you bought it recently from a thrift.
I don't. Oh, Nick, great point. I have a Dallas Cowboys hoodie from 1996, or a sweatshirt from 1996
that you got used.
I got for Christmas a couple years ago from my brother.
It's like the OBJ of shirts.
It'd be the cool thing if everyone had this app, you could know its background, right? And you know,
it's like kind of Carfax, shirt facts.
Like its injury history.
How
you know,
many times it's been rehemmed.
What its best moments were from its past.
Hey, Goodwill, I'm happy to donate this, and I don't even need my tax write-off. I just want to make sure that you guys do shirt facts. I want to make sure that the next person knows how many times I've worn this and when I purchased it.
Shirt facts. I like that.
Yeah,
I was going to call it clothing reference or something, but that's a much catchier name.
Clothing reference.
Shirt facts.
Shirt facts.
But it can go for can go for anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Then the tagline could be no shirt.
Yes.
So obviously we're off to a rip-roaring start here at the Men's College World Series as the baseball season will come to an end. I always love the idea, and we talked about this last week, of the people that are in town and they're like, I'm going to check out what's the station that everyone listens to for sports? Oh, 1620.
Oh, yeah.
They were nominated for a Marconi Award one time. Let's see what I got if I'm tuning in. They just talked about shirts for a while.
I know. I wonder. Well, listen, you asked me to do this, and I was like, oh, man, I better be up on these lineups and, bullpens.
Yeah, those are the things.
Stuff, because are the people from Knoxville and College Station going to want my analysis of this thing? And the answer is probably no.
Oh, no. Nick can probably help you out. Nick has been in the booth for like a week. He probably knows some names. I still will remember random names from the College World Series in 12, 13, and 14 because that's when I was producing it every day. And it's like, oh, I remember that name. I don't have any of those names anymore, though.
Jace Laviolette.
Laviolette. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the guy with the hamstring.
I was just impressed how the handlebar mustache guy from Tennessee is able to keep that thing going.
Dude, he came in yesterday, and he gave up a hit or two, and I thought, wow, this guy's about to blow this game, and then we're all going to blame his mustache for it.
Yeah, well, I was watching him and thinking, if this guy blows the game, I don't have to come up here and sit in the heat tomorrow.
There you go. And yet, here you are. As we go to break, I'll read a couple texts. First of all, Dan writes, John Bishop's hair, Hawk Tua. And then Cats Are Funny texts in, I have my Dare shirt from elementary school, so about 1994
and still rocking
that
it
I still wear sometimes. 30-year-old shirt.
You've got it on a load management situation later in its career for sure.
Dave Fight says, out of the house, probably 10 years. Around the house, I've got stuff that is pushing 25 years. Thad writes 2005 hoodie, and Matthew says a 2004 Carhartt winter coat.
04.
Wow. So keep sending in the oldest item of clothing that you own, and if you want to divide them like Dave just did, in the house, out of the house, I think that is very important because it helps explain, what you're comfortable with people seeing you in and maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Mitch Sherman will join us in a little more than an hour. We are hanging here at the Omaha Baseball Village. The college baseball season comes to an end tonight. Texas A&M and Tennessee, as Tennessee pushed the series to the brink with their win yesterday by a score of 4-1. And tonight, we also have Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Wow! Jack Mitchell, huge hockey guy, and he loves nights where he can just sit and watch sports. So we will that'll come up at some point today. I'm sure we'll talk a little hockey. We will roll on. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, Nick Grimm here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Peter Krenzer back in our 1620 The Zone studios. It's on Sportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Chris writes in on Twitter, there will be no missing Angel Hernandez. Absolutely none. He's terrible, and I'm truly happy to see him go. Do you at all feel bad for a human man, Angel Hernandez, who just so happens to be just awful at his job? Do you at all feel like, all right, he's retiring, we should just let it go, rather than pile on, happy to see you go, rotten hell, you know?
The Connor Happer Show, weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Dangerously hot and humid for your Monday afternoon with an excessive heat warning in effect until 8 o'clock. Feels like temperatures as high as 115, reaching an actual high today of 101 in Omaha with southerly gusts up to 25 miles an hour. A slight chance for storms to develop after 6 p.m. into mainly southwest Iowa, northwest Missouri. Any storms that pop up could have damaging winds and large hail. Warm, partly cloudy tonight with a low of 74. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KUTV Newswatch 7.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here.
And John Schreiner.
When the After Hours Lounge opens from 6 to 8 p.m., I drag John into all my conspiracy theories.
And I put up fierce resistance as the voice of reason in the room.
But along the way, we hit all the usual suspects, Huskers, Jays, Bruins.
And nobody goes in-depth on high school sports, bringing you all the best teams from around the Omaha Metro.
So stop by, open up a tab, and join in the crazy.
As the sports schedule allows.
We're brought to you by Bellevue University
on 1620 The Zone.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
How does Host Coffee provide the best coffee for your workplace? By finding the richest and most robust coffee beans from all around the world and bringing them to our Nebraska roastery, where your coffee is roasted fresh and delivered straight to you.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Fireworks season is here. This week is the Zone Deal 4th of July Mega Week. Each day will feature deals from businesses sure to make your 4th of July great. Half off. Check out our deals from Twisted Thunder Fireworks, Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream, Agave Azteca, Mex Eatly, and Rib Shack. All for half off. Don't miss this 4th of July Zone Mega Week at 1620thezone.com and click deals.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now. Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village. Powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson and Jack Mitchell with you here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Nick Grimm hanging out as well, and Peter Krenzer back in our 1620 The Zone studios. We have had a lot of responses about our clothing discussion that we can get to in just a moment. But first, we get to announce the winner of two prizes. First of all, the Zen Water Cooler and the Zen Water Titleist Max Homa golf bag. Jack Mitchell, congratulations. You get to be here for this momentous occasion.
Very excited. I just learned we were giving this cooler away, right?
Yeah,
8 seconds
it's right
ago.
next to you.
I'm leaning on it.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I'm not sweating.
No, you're not. You're definitely not. Congratulations. Let's go with the cooler first to Lance Heller. Congrats to Lance Heller. He won the Zen Water Cooler. So vital, so important on a day like today. That thing looks awesome. It looks like it'll keep your drinks nice and chilly. Dump a ton of ice in there. You'll be good to go. And for the golf bag, congratulations. I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but Landon Groify or Groofy?
Landon.
Shout out to Landon.
Landon's going to be looking good. You need a lot.
That is an awesome golf bag.
It looks like it. Yes. Titleist. Very nice.
Zenwater of Landon or Lance, if you're listening right now, they'll be emailing and calling you to connect and make sure you know exactly when and where you can pick up your prizes. But congratulations. It's been so cool to see people stop by and register to win both of these prizes. And so there we go. Jack, you and I have been in radio for many years. In fact, we have clothing that is older than the amount of time that we have been in radio, as we discussed a little bit earlier. I would say that this Titleist golf bag is among my favorite things that I've ever seen us give away. Every time that someone came by and they saw it, tears in their eyes, big, strong men and women, are you giving this away? And we said, yes. And they said, how do I register? Now we just point them to the little code thing.
Boy.
Scan the codes.
Landon's going to be the talk of the golf course.
Oh, my gosh. Seriously, can you imagine rolling up to your local 18?
Yep.
And you pull that out of your car?
All of a sudden.
Oh, my gosh.
Landon's going to be getting a whole hell of a lot more respect around the local 18, I think. It's a new day.
You know what it says, Jack? It says it pays to listen to AM radio.
Yes.
AM radio is where it's at.
Right.
Or simulcast on FM stations.
Yes.
That's the dream.
Yep. There you go. Landon's going to he's going to own that thing.
There you go. So shout out to Lance and Landon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for being listeners of 1620 The Zone. All right, let's get back to some clothing that people wear. Didn't think that this is going to be where we started the show with this. I promise we got some sports. I promise.
Listen, I'll tell you what. The more I think about this idea, the more excited I am about it.
It's an amazing idea.
I'm a little afraid that I put it out there and someone's already patented it, trademarked
probably,
some of the things.
You can never
patent the algorithms or something like that.
There's got to be someone in Silicon Valley, right, who's like an app where you check in on the shirts that you wear.
Yeah. Well, I asked this question, too. How long does it take for you to decide what you're going to wear in the morning, and when do you make that decision?
Yeah,
Is it just like what you're feeling right in the moment thing? Are you thinking about it the night before? How do you make that decision every day?
The only time I actually think about it the night before is if, you know what it's for? It's for my running stuff, because sometimes I will just have that out if I'm going to get up and I want to not wake up my wife as she's still asleep when I have to wake up and run at 5:30 or whatever. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't really lay anything out for the next day. It's not my first day of school anymore, like in 9th grade.
Yeah.
Remember the first day of school?
Yeah. Nick, what's your, how long do you, when is the decision made? How long does it take?
Well, it depends if there's an event or something. Like just this last week, I had my polos all lined up. It's like, all right, this is kind of the order I want to wear these.
Right. The polo boy.
Polo boy. But regular day, like if I'm just going to the office, I'll
typical day, yes.
Wake up, go to my drawer, and I've got my starting 9.
That's what I was going to say.
Starting 9.
Do people, when they get the laundry done, in an ideal situation, do you have a pitching rotation, a 1, 2, 3, 4?
It's not a set rotation, but it's definitely, I wear these 5 shirts right away. The second they're washed, I will wear them right away.
How about this? Do you guys have a pair of boxers that are your favorite boxers?
Yes.
Oh, I do.
Too many that are the same.
I'm like, because all of mine is the same brand, but there is a couple of patterns that I'm like, that's the one.
See,
that's the one right there.
Mine all look the same.
All of mine are also the same brand, but there's a couple that I bought from this brand unknowingly that are a different material, and I really like that material.
Oh, interesting.
It's very breathable. It's a breathable material.
Isms writes, I have a ratty Target quality Tony Gonzalez mesh jersey. I still break out for Chiefs games. It's probably 25 years old. There is a caveat to this, yes, because you famously have the Thunder Collins jersey.
Yes, I do.
You love to wear in support of Thunder Collins and everything he stands for.
in support of the University of Nebraska.
Okay, my bad. I misunderstood.
There have been many number ones. Now, he did wear it during that time, but it could be for Frankie London.
It could be for Wandale Robinson.
It could be for Wandale Robinson.
Yeah,
it could be for Jordan Westerkamp.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, I bet there's a lot of people who have old jerseys. Now, I famously don't wear jerseys because I'm in my mid-30s. But if you wear jerseys in your mid-40s,
he says he's literally wearing a jersey.
But it says my name on the back.
Hypocrite alert!
But it's my name.
If it says it's your name, it's okay.
Well,
what are the rules of your game, Josh? I don't even know.
I just don't want to wear another person's name on my back. That's all. Kyle writes, I have a 1999 Milwaukee Brewers pullover windbreaker style jacket I stole from my dad. It's still mint and gets a lot of wear in the spring. Wow, so it gets wear and yet it still looks good.
See, that'd be nice to check out how much wear that it's had year to year.
Yeah, shout out him.
On the YouTube, Tony says, I have a trench coat with African mud from 2004. I don't know what that means.
the amount of questions I've got about You were wearing a trench coat
African mud.
You got mud on it, and then you didn't clean it?
But then African mud is capitalized, so that seems like, is that a band?
Nick, why don't you do a little research for us?
I will.
Let's see. Bigelow, you know Jacob Bigelow. Isn't he on your softball team?
He is. He had a good game last week.
He said a pair of shoes that I bought in 2014. Wow, that's a long time for a pair of shoes to last.
Yeah, shoes are usually not, they don't have the length.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, the staying power.
DG the Prophet writes, I have an A&M shirt. Oh, hey, they're playing tonight.
Hey, you should
I
come.
bought the day they moved to the SEC. Still wear it. They moved to the SEC. Their last year in the Big 12 was 2011. Johnny Manziel's season was 12 years ago. Think Johnny will be there tonight, Jack?
I would think so. I mean, I don't know. You ought to come out. He was at the basketball game. I don't know if people noticed that. The cameras didn't tell you too often.
No, they didn't. Ray says, I have a Boogie Nights tee from 97. I still wear it home.
Okay.
Maxwell says, I still have a Barry White, The Icon is Love tour t-shirt from around the house from the 90s and a Yellow Man as well as Sly and Robbie t-shirts from the 80s. I don't know any of these words.
I actually
if
don't know what
coats
those
count,
are
it's
either.
probably my Phoenix Suns Apex coat or Fila coat from the 90s.
Okay.
Wow.
He's doing some work.
I
That's
just
some good stuff.
remembered, at one point, my dad in his closet found an old Alabama tour t-shirt that he had.
Oh, the band?
Yeah.
Oh, the band.
Yeah.
Alabama. Okay. Wow.
I also have an answer to African mud.
Okay, what is it?
It's a cloth that's a traditional cotton fabric with great cultural significance throughout Africa.
Oh,
okay.
Well,
It's dyed with fermented mud and plant dye.
So
okay. Well,
so is the
I seem
trench
like an
coat
idiot now.
So is the trench coat
dyed, I assume, with the mud and the
okay?
dye.
Interesting. That's
That is-
cool.
That is really cool.
Pedro texts in, hi guys, 1997 championship sweatshirt, also my Big 12 sweatshirt with the Nebraska logo.
Ooh.
That's got to be old. A text from the 402 writes, 1990 Denim Barn jacket Christmas present from
Denim
my
Barn.
wife.
What does that even mean? Denim Barn?
What is
did he
Denim
say?
Barn?
I assume it's as everybody was wearing denim shirt. 1990 denim shirts were huge.
Really?
Yes, denim
People
shirts.
are getting
and
in
jeans,
line,
obviously,
palpable buzz?
and jean jackets. All of it. You wanted to be denimed out,
Canadian tuxedos
top
all
to
over
bottom.
the place.
So I assume it was
That's
one
a
of
Canadian
those.
jumpsuit at that point.
Yeah, like that was
apparatus.
That was like a year
Nice.
before silk shirts got really popular for a while. Chambray shirts were popular in that era too.
And then Cody says, Jack Mitchell here for Whitey Tidies. I usually call them Tidy Whiteys. Is that why all your underwear is the
No,
same?
they're
It's
boxer
all-
briefs. Oh god,
Boxer
No.
briefs are the best.
boxer briefs.
I'm a boxer's boy.
Oh no,
I don't like.
I can't do
looseness
boxers.
of
The
boxers.
man, if I were in boxers right now, I would not be happy.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
I'm
that.
wearing compression shorts.
Well, good. Yeah.
That's how you got to roll on a
Yes.
day like today.
Yes. No,
I hope,
that's
hey,
why I don't. I do all boxer.
we'll
briefs.
get Nick's weather report later, but I'll give you a little tease. It's a billion degrees minus a few million, but it's hot. Wear the clothes that you know is gonna maybe wick some of that sweat away.
When did boxer briefs become the norm?
I feel
When
like,
would-
when I
you
was
got-
a kid, people loved boxer briefs.
I was like, did you go through
I
the
never got
tidy
into-
whitey era as
I did.
kids
Yeah.
or as teenagers?
I moved
or-
on from tidy whities. I think it's
So-
7th grade.
I went from tidy whities to boxers to boxer
That's-
briefs as I got
It was
older.
boxers when I was in high school, but I didn't do boxer briefs until like college or after. Like nobody talked about them.
That's
Nobody.
about where I
They
am.
weren't really a thing.
I have a few pairs of boxer briefs, but they're not my fave.
I love
Yeah.
them.
Sorry, I didn't mean to upset
Maybe
you.
the best invention
No,
in
boxers.
in clothing.
I love
nice
the
to feel-
contouring. They stay there.
Contouring. All right. This is getting a little gross on a day like today, Nick. I don't want to think about the contouring of your boxer briefs. We are hanging out here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, the inventor of an incredible app
Thank you.
where you can keep track of the clothing
I'm
that you have
basically
worn.
The new Elon Musk.
When we return, just the good parts.
The good parts,
The good,
of course.
all two of them.
Hey, he had another kid, number 12.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at Nick. I was like,
Oh,
what?
No,
When
Nick
it was the
didn't.
first?
No, Elon. Elon had another
Oh,
kid. Number
congrats
12.
to him. Congrats to him. We will talk some sports when we return. Jack had an interesting prompt that we can get to about this past calendar year for the local teams and maybe what could happen with them moving forward. So we will do that when we return and continue to roll on. We are on with you until 5:45. It is the last game of the season. As we are hanging out here at the Omaha Baseball Village, our fridge is full. Thank you to those of you who brought us those refreshing drinks. Looks like Jack is about to go get one right now. We're on camera, Jack, so you're standing up and everyone's seeing you. More to come. It's a special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct live at the Omaha Baseball Village on 1620 The Zone.
Nick Grimm for Circa Sports Iowa. Not only are things heating up here at the Omaha Baseball Village, they are heating up between the two teams playing at the College Baseball Championship. You taking Tennessee or do you like the Aggies? Make your choice right now anywhere in the state of Iowa with Circa Sports Iowa. Right now, the tight money line split has A&M at plus 190 over the Vols. If you want to get on some more action, then there's Major League Baseball, of course, always. Props, in-game, you can do it all with Circa Sports Iowa, and they also won't limit your account when you're on a hot streak. A lot of people like to do that, you know. Also, there's more ways to win with Circa Million 6 and Circa Survivor with $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Details on that at circasports.com. Download Circa Sports Iowa today. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Ramona's Mexican Restaurant, previously located at 30th and Reddick and now at 30th and Willett in historic Florence, is still the way you remember it. Nachos, deep fried burritos, and those amazing cinnamon chips. Have a margarita or a cocktail. Open until 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturdays too. And try Ramona's out of this world 2.5-pound massive burger with cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles. Ramona's Mexican Restaurant. Stop in today. Follow them on Facebook for specials and news about their monthly musical bingo.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the potty, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. My crib is always soft. It's our party vibe. She's crushing everything, so our chicks feel fly. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit uet.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Continuing hour number one here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Josh Peterson, Nick Grimm, Jack Mitchell. We're hanging out. Peter Krenzer back in our zone studios. The countdown continues. Tennessee and Texas A&M. Kevin Kugler, Scott Graham upstairs, John Bishop somewhere downstairs in the heat as they watch the culmination of the college baseball season. And Jack, this is the culmination too of the college sports calendar. Tonight is the last game of the season. It's the last game of the school year, 2023, 2024. And we wanted to look at things from the local perspective. John and I did an exercise a couple of weeks ago where we went and gave grades to the entire athletic departments for Nebraska, for Creighton, and for Omaha. We're not going to be doing that, but I thought that you had an interesting prompt, and essentially it's what kind of improvement are we looking at for some of the big sports for these schools going into next year?
Yeah, it is interesting. Today is, well, it's not only the last game of the college sports season. NHL and NBA officially always end on the same week too. This is like the last week of school for sports, or like New Year's Eve in some ways for sports. Baseball, Major League Baseball is always
there in the background.
It's always there in the
summer
background.
School.
But it feels like this is a real dividing point of
I couldn't agree more.
The fiscal year, and now we have a little bit like an 8-week summer basically.
Well, and you and I love we have a lot of similarities in like we love counting down to things. We love planning and getting excited about random weekends in October, looking at the schedule and just going, over and over and over. But one of the things that you and I appreciate is when the calendar gives us the Olympics, or any event, World Cup, Olympics, stuff that we're not going to like be diehards about, but it's like nice to have some good background noise or something that I can actually pay attention to while I wait for football.
Yes. But like, unless you're a Major League Baseball fan and tied into it, this year it does help with the Olympics and the soccer, but you got about 8 weeks and then we get going, and it's kind of a time for like superlatives and then, looking forward. So I asked this question: what are the chances when it comes to, we can look at college sports, I guess, to at least start. What are the chances that 2025 is better than 2023, 2024? Yeah, as we kind of go through the different places, look back and look forward.
So what were you thinking of? Were you thinking of local, or are you thinking the whole sport entirely? And where do you want to begin?
I was thinking from a Nebraska perspective, from a college perspective, but we can move forward. I think you can talk about it in all sports, really, with it being such a breaking point. So,
is there one like an obvious Nebraska sport that you feel strongly will either be worse or better next year?
I mean, it starts and begins with football, which everything does. Yeah. And I don't listen. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it, Josh. I don't even want to say it.
What you want to say?
I don't want to say that
they're going to be good.
Like, it almost seems like for sure.
A game.
What I want to say, but I don't want to say, is that there's no way it can be worse.
Oh, that is a scary sentence.
I know.
I've said it before.
But we've said that a million of times.
We've said it many times.
We thought we'd been at the threshold of hell many, many times, and we weren't even close.
No,
we were a decade away from it.
There was deeper. It was Dante's Inferno. There's so many levels to it.
Yes, I remember the Bishop comment about rock bottom, right?
Oh,
yes.
I remember him and I arguing when Scott Frost said that after the Michigan loss in 2018. You cannot say that it is rock bottom in the moment. It's only something that you can recognize later on. But John was right. Put it on a poster. John Bishop was right.
But
for once, in parentheses.
All of that aside, talking about the sports that I follow closely, at Nebraska, I guess if you're just talking about men's basketball, baseball, football, those three, I'm definitely most confident football's going to have the better season.
You are most bullish on them having a better season.
And in fact, unless you're going to throw in like softball, of all of the team sports, is probably the only. It's any other sport last year compared to this year. Football, I'm the most solid on.
I'm happy you said that because I was thinking about volleyball this morning after you sent me that idea, and I was like, volleyball. I mean, I was going to say they pretty much had a perfect season, right? And they like Jack, they literally almost had a perfect in terms of 0 losses. They lose late, so what they entered the tournament with 1 loss, right? And then obviously they don't just lose; they get swept against Texas. That said, last year I feel like is one of those rare seasons that you can have as a fan of sports that kind of transcends the ultimate result. They had volleyball day, and
that's true.
Like
that's a great point. There's 2 ways to look at this. You can look at the numbers, or you can look at the vibes.
And the vibes for volleyball, dare I say, Jack, even though like they could win the Natty this year, I think that last year will still be more memorable. I think that it's going to be hard to top because they had volleyball day.
Interesting.
And look, I also do say this, admittedly, as someone who is not a diehard watcher. I know you watch a ton of their matches, and certainly there are people in our audience right now who watch and know way more about the volleyball program than I do. So maybe I'm off on this, but it's going to be hard, I feel like, to match the vibes of last year for all of the obvious reasons. Volleyball day, but also that five-set match versus Wisconsin that ends with that hilarious lady finding out and getting spoiled and smiling and then letting us all know, oh my gosh, Nebraska's about to win. Like, that was great.
Yes.
Even though they got swept by Texas.
You're right. That is a really good point to bring in the vibes. And that leads me to ask you this question.
Okay.
How hard will it be for Nebraska men's basketball to improve on the vibes?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Does that happen unless Nebraska wins an NCAA game? I don't know. It's hard to imagine better vibes.
Well, yes, because if you look at the regular season, they beat the number 1 team, stormed the court. They beat a Wisconsin team that was kind of like the last hurrah for Wisconsin, and they stormed the court, right? So they got to storm the court 2 times. The Indiana Big Ten tournament game is insanely memorable. So I just named 3 games off the top of my head very quickly. Am I missing anything from last year in terms of the memorable scale?
Those are the 3. Those are the 3. And then, of good
and
memories.
Then getting into the tournament, like being involved on Selection Sunday, being excited for 4 days.
Can you beat those 4 times with vibes. The
You
same way
can
you
with
asked me
one
to
win.
beat-
You
with
could-
one win.
It could be a super forgettable season, but if you do the
What
thing,
if they beat Creighton? What if they beat Creighton?
now that Creighton win will always then become a part of the vibes conversation. So I guess they can do two things. No, but I would say this, Jack: one win over Creighton and the same result elsewhere, in terms of a loss in the tournament. I don't think that would be a more memorable year than last year. I think they last year.
I think you're right.
Had 3 fun wins
They did
or
that 2
big
years
wins
ago.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
People forget.
it's they did beat Creighton 2 years ago in Omaha, in
Right
fact.
over there.
Oh,
I
that
see where
arena.
it happened.
Yeah. They did that. So yeah, I think for them it comes down to just winning the tournament game. And to go back to the football component of this discussion, I mean, is it just as easy as saying make a bowl and
Yes,
because they were 5 and 7.
Although,
well.
with the vibes, if they went, would there be worse vibes if they went
6 and 6
than last year?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I'm saying that rhetorically too.
Yeah.
Would there be if we're doing this from a vibes position? Does it require something better than 6 and 6? Because this is starting to worry me. Because so far,
it's the hype train.
No, I'm just saying. So far, we have said it's going to be a real uphill battle to get better vibes in 2 of the 3 sports that we've talked about right now. And now,
whereas you feel like if
on
football makes a bowl, it should be like easy peasy, right? It should be like, oh, of course that everything is better.
I don't know.
They just made a bowl.
I think it's a close call vibes wise if they're 500. If they just get 6 wins and they slip into a bowl and don't get the moments.
Well,
you got to have the moments.
And that's the thing. And not to do the schedule game, which we will play a little bit later on, but there's a part of the schedule where I do know that 6 and 6 for people would feel like, that's all they could do with that schedule.
Yeah.
Like, that, especially if Jack, what if they do this? What if the turnover stuff rapidly improves? What if the offense is better? But the defense is kind of where things take a step back, because right now I think that one of the early promises of the Matt Rule era is they're going to be good on defense. They're probably always going to have defense to fall back on.
That's
but what
the
if
hope.
this defense takes a step back this year and offense is so-so, and it's like, oh, well, that's not how I saw it coming. Like, I think if we all close our eyes and see 6 and 6, I mean, I guess we think that it means more offensive, fuddying around. Is that what we think it means? I mean, maybe that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah, probably. But what's the overall feel? And again, who do you beat? Do you lose to Colorado at the beginning of the year, right? Do you beat Iowa or
that's where the vibes go?
Do you beat
bad.
Iowa or Wisconsin? Did you lose
That's
to both
where the
of
vibes
those
go
two teams?
good or
that's my question on 6 and 6. There's a scenario where 6 and 6 still the vibes are almost the same.
100%.
It's at least a push.
Baseball,
even if they get to a bowl.
Baseball. Can the vibes be better? Can they
had the moment here, right?
They had the moment here.
They got
but,
that's got to be. It's the same as basketball.
But Jack, you and I talked about it towards the end of the season. I think we talked right before the NCAA tournament. So after the conference championship, because there was a poll question that John had put up about what will be okay for you, and winning the regional was more important for people than winning the Big Ten conference.
Yeah, I said that at the time.
So does next year for baseball just come down to if it's going to be more or less successful? Is it just about winning a regional, or could they host a regional? I guess they can't host and lose.
Yeah,
right?
but I see what you're saying. That's a fair point. Even if they got to hosting, I think that would be a vibes thing.
Yeah,
because
they haven't done it.
It's hard during the baseball season too, a regular season like baseball, to hit vibes just via victories.
Correct.
Plus, they had a no-hitter last year.
That's pretty hard to top. They had a no-hitter. They got to finally,
man, this is making this last year we just had seem really good.
Look at
and
that.
next year seemed like there's no way we can match it as far as we talk about this. Except for football. It's all on you, Matt Rule.
All on you.
You got to carry
Matt
all of
Rule.
our emotions, the vibes that we're not going to get from other sports.
It definitely seems like because of some historic or semi-historic seasons for the volleyball, for the men's basketball programs, it's going to be really difficult. Volleyball could – the only way, in my opinion, they could surpass it is winning the Natty, but still from the memorable perspective, I still don't think that is going to be more memorable for people.
There's a next step for all of them, but they've got to make it to beat the vibes, especially men's basketball and volleyball. What do you think? I mean, I wouldn't be a good one to answer this, but I wonder how Creighton basketball would feel about this question.
I feel like because the original prompt is, will next year be an improvement on things? I feel like basketball, this is going to be the time to take a step back before then they build back up again, which they have done after some of their better moments in program history. I feel like it kind of follows with a little bit of a step back, or in the case after Doug, a big step back, and then they, to quote Joe Biden, build back better.
Thank you.
But so I think it's going to be difficult, but Kalkbrenner returning is a wrench in this situation that like a few months ago I was very confident in my assertion that they're going to take a step back. Now I'm a little less confident, but I think that they will. Baseball, you want to talk about vibes that are off right now. Just that whole program. Though people are excited now about the coaching news, so at least people know who their new coach is going to be.
Man, we are painting a bleak picture for this sports world that we're talking about to enter into. We've got a few weeks till this starts, Josh.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe just enjoy the summer, soak up the rays before all the disappointment starts for all of us.
Folks, enjoy the 100-degree temps in Omaha today because you're only in the first circle of hell if you're a local sports fan as we continue to count down. We will wrap up this hour when we return. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell. We have Mitch Sherman coming up in about 40 minutes. Also, Ryan McGee will stop by in a couple hours as well ahead of Texas A&M and Tennessee. It's a special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct live at the Omaha Baseball Village on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Host Coffee is on a mission to invigorate every workplace with a blend of bold flavors and unforgettable service, creating moments with our coffee, water, and food services that spark joy, productivity, and connection. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Twisted Thunder Fireworks is going to save you big money. You'll find the best variety and the lowest prices in the entire state of Nebraska. Don't believe us? See page after page of products and pricing online at twistedthunder.com, where you can watch everything before you buy and choose local pickup so it's ready to go for you at the tent. Go to twistedthunder.com to check out all of our locations in Nebraska as well as our location in Council Bluffs. That's twistedthunder.com.
At Cox Mobile, we know you're smart. You brush your teeth in the shower to save time, make coffee ice cubes for your cold brew, and wear goggles to cut onions. You also added Cox Mobile. So smart. Now you're running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability and saving on your Cox internet. It's ingenious, just like you.
Aw, thanks.
Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile. Cox postpaid internet required. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. through H2023. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
The boys of summer are back. Kansas City Royals baseball can be heard all season long on your home for Royals baseball in Omaha, 1620 The Zone and 1180 The Zone. Royals baseball is presented by J. Stinnett Contracting. We have you covered.
It's simple, Nebraska. Do the FAFSA.
No, it's not a new dance trend.
It's the free application for federal student aid.
That's money for college. Thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing.
Just 10 minutes is all it takes to apply for the financial aid you need.
With fewer questions and faster fill-out time, it's simple to see how much you're qualified for.
Go ahead, Nebraska. Do the FAFSA.
Get started at dothefafsa.org.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Wrapping up the first hour here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell with you. We will be off at 5:45 ahead of Texas A&M and Tennessee.
I had some time to kill when I came in.
Oh my God!
So I got some from the local drugstore. I got some new Deion Sanders sunglasses.
Why did you leave the tag on?
Oh, I just pulled them out of my pocket. I have not worn them. These are brand new.
You're an interesting person.
Do I look like Deion?
No, not at all. What do you think?
These
Nick?
are the Deion model, right?
Are they?
Isn't that what Deion wears on the sidelines?
I don't know if that's
Look at the YouTube, folks.
Check
out the YouTube. What do you guys think? Do these look like Deion's?
Oh, you got to turn on the YouTube camera.
Oh, I wasn't on camera. All right.
No, Nick, there we go. There we go.
Do I look like Deion? And regardless of B, do I look sweet? Those are questions.
Does he look sweet?
Yeah. Do I look like? I mean, assuming I can get the tag off.
Yeah.
You'll
figure it out. You'll figure it out eventually.
By the way, family's not going to be able to have a big dinner tonight. These ran me back $14.
Oh, there you go. You always just keep buying stuff, and then your family comes up to you with tears in their eyes because they're hungry, not because they respect you. Jack, finishing up the topic from the last segment. So tonight is going to be, did you know this? The first Game 7 in a Stanley Cup final, in an NBA Finals, or in the World Series since pre-COVID. We have not had a Game 7 since Nationals
in the
Astros
championships
in the final series of that season.
Since Nationals Astros
in 19.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Like, do you remember that stretch in like 15, 16, 17 where it seemed like every championship game or series was like this classic? We had like the March Madness that ended on a buzzer beater. We had the LeBron block on the Warriors. We had the 28-3 Super Bowl. We had the first Clemson Alabama, or the second Clemson Alabama natty when Clemson won on a last second play. Like, we had this amazing stretch. The Cubs, the artist formerly known as the Cleveland Indians. Incredible, incredible
Royals
World Series.
Royals went to Game 7 against the Giants in 2014.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that one.
And so, like, I hope that maybe tonight could be the beginning of that, because I was thinking about, can next season be better than last season? The NFL is always awesome.
Yeah. How could the NFL? Yeah, I'm not even sure. Well, you know what? If the Chiefs just roll again, we're going to get to a point where,
because they weren't even very good in the regular season
where
last
there's
year.
diminishing returns.
Yeah, like,
I'm sorry to the Chiefs fans out there, but you're going to get, in terms of, and I'm looking at this from a very different perspective. For the Nebraska one, I was looking as a biased Nebraska fan. For the NFL, I'm just looking at the general entertainment experience. So I acknowledge that I'm taking different kind of perspectives on this whole thing. But Josh, vibes could be a little down in the NFL if the Chiefs roll again this year.
And again, mainly as we finish up the
Maybe,
shower.
not much.
Mainly if they are bad in the regular season and then win another Super Bowl. I think that is where last year went from like, what a season to, oh, okay, so the same thing is going to happen as always. Hour number 2 coming up here at the Omaha Baseball Village. When we return, this is kind of an offshoot of the discussion, but the dividing line between a good start and a bad start for Nebraska in their first 7 games in 2024. That on the other side, Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell. More to come on 1620 The Zone.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The back seat. Check the back seat. All right, come here. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them, but with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly, so get it in your head.
Check the back seat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Darian, we call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Where do my friends and other students find their voice? We find our voice through the performing arts, along with millions of other high school students. By expressing yourself in a role on stage, through an instrument, or at the debate podium, the performing arts give us freedom to find ourselves, to find our place. The stage is where I can play, perform, and compete with my friends.
Performing arts at your school is where creativity meets courage. Encourage the students in your life to find their voice through the performing arts. This message presented by the NFHS, where we encourage all students to play, perform, and compete together.
Courage. I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. This is a special presentation of 1620 The Zone and the 1620 The Zone mobile app. This hour of the Men's College World Series special on 1620 The Zone is presented by Union Bank and Trust. People don't have your money. Your money has people. Member FDIC. 1620 The Zone is live at the Omaha Baseball Village. Powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours. And Children's Nebraska. Here are your hosts for today's broadcast on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell here, and we are powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours, and by Children's Nebraska. Come by the Zone booth inside of the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from Ted and Wally's. Ted and Wally's official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating more than 35 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson and the Old Market in Omaha. We are in hour number 2 of this special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct ahead of the last game of the season between Tennessee and Texas A&M. We'll have more conversation on that one as we roll on. Mitch Sherman will join us at the bottom of this hour. We can talk about the College World Series. We can also talk about Nebraska. He had a nice mailbag today on The Athletic that we are actually going to use for a prompt in just a moment. Also, Ryan McGee will join us in the 5 o'clock hour as we continue to count down. Do you get sad, Jack, when the school year, if you will, in terms of sports comes to an end? Or is this just like, hell yeah, now I can finally start looking ahead to football season and I'm legally allowed to do so?
I am excited to get yeah, you know what, Josh?
No one will arrest you now if you want to talk football.
I think we're at the latter. I'm excited about talking about football and it feeling like pertinent.
Yes.
Right? Instead of just forcing it.
It is odd how fast this offseason has gone, at least to me. And maybe I'm different, but I can't believe that it's July next week. Like, the fact that we are on the doorstep of all of these conversations, like what you said, it's about to feel very, very real. Where for a while I was like, oh man, I wonder what Dylan would mean. Like, we're going to see that on the field very, very soon.
Right. Well, you can map out the rest of the summer, right? We start out this week ending the College World Series in the NHL. So now we're in, sports summer, officially sports summer. Next week is the 4th of July. So that's a holiday week.
Nice.
Right?
And
then you got a couple of weeks after that, which you got the Major League Baseball All-Star game. That's when everything feels like it really bottoms out. But then again,
Open Championship not too long after that.
And you got the soccer still going here for another 2 weeks, really.
Yep.
And the Copa America, if you're into that kind of stuff.
Look at you, soccer boy.
But as you mentioned, the Olympics gives you a respite this year. It chops really 2 weeks off of this again, if you're into it, but off of that dry sports summer where it's just Major League Baseball for the most part.
Or tennis. Ugh.
And by the time,
no offense, tennis heads.
In my color-coded schedule that I made, there's a crazy day that is full of Olympics and NFL preseason games.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So probably one of those Fridays or something?
A Saturday.
A Saturday.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. And are you someone who's going to dive into the Olympics, or are you going to be like, yeah, go America?
Sure. Yeah.
America first.
Well, the thing is, all of the stuff, since I'm usually kind of working in the afternoon from home, and that's when everything's going to happen.
That's awesome.
Everything's going to happen in the
Plus,
afternoon.
Jack, along those lines, and I know you subscribe to Peacock.
I do. I got a few months left.
So
I've actually probably got 5 months left.
So you subscribe to Peacock. Well, you know what? That'll be good if you're someone like Jack who works from home. Noon here is prime time in Paris. So all of the sports you can just throw on. I was looking at times for like the track and field events, and a lot of that stuff is like noon over here. And it's like, man, I'll just throw that on the app inside of our palatial zone studio.
Basically,
we can all watch the Olympics.
Basically, every afternoon will be track or swimming finals at like 1:00 in the afternoon.
Let's go. How about Katie Ledecky absolutely dominating this weekend?
You better get this out of your system because Bishop hates that stuff.
Oh,
so
you know what? You can deal with it. John talks about NASCAR. I like NASCAR. I love it when they turn left again. Good job, NASCAR.
Yes, on
turn left again.
Yeah, like Saturday, August 10th.
Tell me more.
Right, you got the women's soccer gold medal game. You got the women's volleyball bronze medal game.
Oh.
You got bunch of track and field finals.
Nice.
And then at noon, you also have Bears at Bills in the NFL preseason game, right?
Bears at Bills.
You got the men's basketball gold medal game at 2:30. You got beach volleyball gold medal games, and then you got 3:00 Raiders at Vikings.
Wow.
And you got Chiefs and Chiefs play somebody that evening too. I didn't type it in, but that's going to be a weird. And by the time you get out of those closing ceremonies, Josh, when you get done with the Olympics, if you're using like we will, the Olympics as a bridge to football season, final day is Sunday, August 11. Okay, you got 2 weeks till week 0 then.
Yes,
you have 2 weeks till week 0 in college football, which is Ireland and Notre Dame. And it's the Aer Lingus Classic coming up from Ireland. And what who is it? Notre Dame,
Georgia Tech,
or Florida State. Yeah, that's right.
Florida State, Georgia Tech. I think that's what it is.
Notre Dame's the next year.
There you
go.
go.
You're right.
John emails in, says, I just got the first hot enough for you from a lady on the elevator, just so people know you don't have to talk on an elevator. How do you feel about this, Jack? Are you an elevator talker?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, why would you want to talk
I'm not
on the
a
elevator?
talker. I am not a talker, no, in any case. The checkout line, I don't know if they do this in Omaha.
I talk too much every day. I don't want to talk more.
They've got this thing that at certain businesses where they've apparently told their checkers or the clerks or whomever's working in retail that they must want them to engage and make conversation. And
how's your Monday?
Yeah, how's your Monday? Or
Horrible.
even worse, how many more stops do you have? Have you ever gotten that?
I don't want to talk about my chores.
Right. Or like, what else do you have planned for the day?
How many things are you doing around your house when you get home?
I hope
none. I want to
That's
sit.
the worst. Like, what else do you have planned for the day? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to think about it myself.
Yeah, I'm trying. I want this as a respite.
Who has ever heard that question and been excited? Unless you're receiving like a major award or something.
Oh, yeah.
Right after
But then don't you even feel like a jerk if that happens too? If they're like, and you're like, yeah, I'm actually going to get honored tonight. Like, what are you supposed to say to that? Congratulations?
I want to know which CEO or whatever thought that this is a good idea, because clearly they're not a normal human person.
No.
that does their own shopping.
No one likes it.
Shopping.
Nobody likes it.
I mean, I don't mind. Honestly,
Sports action.
I don't mind weather talk. I mean, give me some weather.
You and I love talking
Give
about
me
the
some
weather.
weather talk if you're going to small talk.
It's so hot.
I'll take the elevator talk than the weirdly personal again.
What are you doing the rest of the day? Hey, what's your
How many
zip code?
stops left do you have before you go home?
I don't want to tell you about how many stops.
What do I just be like? 3. You know, I mean, that's the weirdest question.
Well,
the people asking don't want to ask it either.
Yeah.
Because they also know that it's weird.
There's no willing participant in that conversation.
And again, what are you supposed to say? So what if you say 3? Then what's the follow-up?
Yeah.
Oh, where?
What?
What's your social security
Yeah,
number?
why do I need to tell you where else I'm going?
Is telling these people.
Well, I got to run to the shoe store.
What good, honestly.
I got to go to the bank.
Somebody in corporate management retail, tell me what that's doing.
I have to go get my license. You know, it's time to get. Oh, that reminds me. I got to get a new license this year. That sucks.
As somebody who somewhat recently did work in retail.
Oh, the retail boy.
I think their perspective is, oh, you're making a connection with the customer. If they feel
No,
like you're their
there's
friend,
no
they
connection.
wanna come
No.
back.
The
It makes
connection
me
is
not.
I hate you.
It affirmatively makes me not want to go to those places. Like, seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
like you're not going to these places for the people checking you out. You're going there because they're selling a thing that you need at the moment.
Yeah.
Pedro texts, "Hi guys, Josh, you might have to do multiple shows with Jack during the Olympics. John is such an Olympic hater. It would be a nice thing to have positive energy for America. Flag emoji."
That's me, America, and Japanese men's basketball.
Oh,
I might be cheering for Japan in men's
classic
basketball.
Jack
Yep.
cheering against America.
Yep.
By the way,
That would be tough. I don't know what I would do.
Thinking of the summer, Jack, and other ways to get us closer to the real football season, Nathan writes, "Hey, NCAA 25 comes out on July 19th. First NCAA football video game in 11 years. Dog days of summer be damned." Dude, that's not even a month from now.
July 19th?
July 19th. That's like right before the Olympics.
It's the Friday after the All-Star game.
It comes out on a Friday?
Honestly,
back in my day, video games came out on Tuesday.
The 17th and the 18th are the two worst days of the sports calendar.
Because
there's no
nothing.
baseball.
Yeah.
Right? There's no baseball. Everything else is stopped. And now you're going to have to wait for the NCAA game on that Friday, too.
Mm-hmm.
And the Olympics, too, about get started. Yeah, we got 1 month.
Wow.
Folks.
Not even.
3
Wow.
weeks.
Look at this. I'm someone who is going to follow so much content related to the video game and not play it at all.
Oh.
I'll read articles. It'll probably come up on college football pods that I listen to. I'm guessing you'll be talking about it, and yet I will not play the game.
I can stream it for you, Josh.
There you go. That is something, you know, as you get older, you always are like, I don't understand kids. I don't understand watching other people play video games. You do this with your son sometimes, and I'm like, that sounds boring. No offense. Sounds boring.
So what if I play it without any commentary or anything?
That sounds even worse.
It's just like watching a game.
No, it's not. It's not like watching a game because it's a video game. I like playing it's like, Nick, you go to a party.
Yes.
And it's like, it's not your turn to play. You know what's the worst part about going to a party as a kid with video games? When you weren't getting to play the video games. I want to play the video game. I don't want to watch the video games get played.
True.
So that's
true.
my
Man,
take.
old man Josh is here. Here we go. What other things don't you like? Let's get going on
I have
this.
a lot of takes.
He hates the TikToks.
I hate TikTok.
I see they're naming I think tomorrow they're naming the most difficult places to play in NCAA 24.
Oh, okay.
Like
I've been on that content.
The amount of controversy that'll
make
create,
people mad.
and I can't remember. They have a countdown every day coming the rest of this week.
They are going to implement home field advantage in the game too, which
Yes.
will be interesting.
It's gonna be. They're gonna announce what are the top 10 biggest home field.
Shake and
All right, I'm excited for this.
And then and then Wednesday is Sights and Sounds deep dive. Thursday,
what does that mean?
I don't know.
Probably
what songs they're playing at every. They'll announce that they're playing that. Come running, boys. I hope they got that.
I hope not. That sounds terrible.
I'm just annoying you.
What team is the one that does Enter Sandman? Because they couldn't
Virginia Tech.
Virginia
They
Tech.
couldn't get the rights to that.
Yeah, so is that going to be like an off-brand version of Enter Sandman?
Yeah.
One of the guys.
Enter Sandwoman? What are we doing? What, Nick?
One of the guys that I follow who's
generic Enter Sandman
who got to play it said that it's a Metallica sounding kind of.
Yeah.
Nice.
June 27th on Thursday, top offenses and defenses.
Oh, Nebraska. I guess maybe they'll be involved with the defense.
And then June 28th, here's the one we're all waiting for in Nebraska. Overall, not that. It's overall team power rankings.
Okay.
So,
the whole sport?
The whole
1 through 134?
I guess so.
All right.
I don't know.
See, I'm excited.
We're going to find out who the worst
I just can't
team
wait.
in the game is.
We
That's
all put
exciting.
our predictions earlier this year on what Thomas Fedoni's rating would be.
This is fun.
Yeah, so that'll be another thing to follow.
97.
Wow. I think I guess
Just
like
don't wanna-
77.
97.
Katie writes, Jack supporting Axis Powers fits the bill. Tough look for Jack.
Things have changed.
Tough
Quit
look.
living in the past like Josh.
Tough look for Jack. Hayden says, sounds like Josh was the kid that lost every time he played, so he had to pass off the controller and wait to play. No. I was pretty good at the NCAA game. But, you go to a party and there's like 15 boys there. You got to spread the wealth around.
Don't you remember the kids who you'd like play a game, you go to their house? Like, I didn't have a video game till I lived on my own. Okay, I didn't. When I was growing up, we never had a console.
And then
I was
you lived
denied.
on your own, you got Pong.
So, I got an original Xbox, but anyway, I would go to my friend's house and they had a Nintendo Entertainment System, and they would be, they would just like be awesome at the game, and I didn't play it enough, and so I get mad, and then I'd start playing it, like Super Mario Brothers, for example, and I would struggle, and then be like, "Here, give it, I'll win it for you," and like I was like, "No,
I don't want that.
That's not
the purpose of the video game.
I'm with you on that point.
Nate says, can you give Nick a mic? Can't hear him at all.
I'm
Is that
sorry.
turned up as
Hello?
loud as it can go?
Yeah, it is low.
I believe so.
All right.
It is very low.
Yeah, it's definitely low.
It's high.
Yeah, you don't
Sometimes
sound.
I can make it.
There you go. You see, you just got to project more, I think, Nick.
I just got to project. Get it
Louder.
right up there.
Even
Hello.
louder.
Hello.
There we go. I guess
Hi.
that'll do. When we return, we'll talk about the first 7 games of the season for Nebraska football. What record is the dividing line between a good start and a bad start? Mitch Sherman had some stuff on this today. We can tackle with him at the bottom of the hour as well. This hour is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money has people. Member FDIC. In 1620, The Zone live at the Omaha Baseball Village is sponsored by the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, the #1 zoo in the nation. Visit omahazoo.com to plan your adventure. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, Nick Grimm. We roll on from the Omaha Baseball Village next here on 1620, The Zone.
Curveballs belong in baseball, not your bank. When you choose Access Bank for your personal or commercial banking needs, you'll know what to expect every time. Personalized, all-in-one service from experts who know banking and the Omaha Metro. Access Bank has convenient branch locations and easy online solutions. Because we're here for a reason, to make your experience a home run. Learn more at accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Why wait for your perfect landscape when Patera can get it booked now and installed in plenty of time to enjoy this summer? Gorgeous, healthy trees and bushes, a colorful garden with a water feature, a berm, a beautiful new patio. Whatever you're imagining for curb appeal or more privacy, Patera can book your project now so you can enjoy your perfect landscape and cookouts this summer. Patera, Omaha's best. PateraLandscaping.com.
If you want a perfect landscape, call Patera.
And we're back live, and what a beautiful day here at the park. Just listen to that crowd. Excitement's in the air. They've come to see the best of the best from all over the globe in what's been a fan favorite for nearly 130 years. That's right, it's all at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, the #1 zoo in the nation. Be sure to swing by between games and check out our newly reimagined Hubbard Orangutan Forest. Plan your visit at omahazoo.com.
Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha frequently conducts clinical trials for a broad range of investigational treatments. Velocity is currently seeking participants to wear a Fitbit watch for 31 days with compensation of up to $200. Some other current studies includes low T, COPD, flu, pediatric, infant, and RSV. They also perform vaccine studies for people of all ages. See current trials at velocityclinicaltrials.com, compensation for study-related time and travel, and find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
The time between Memorial Day and Labor Day is known as the 100 deadliest days. Students are off for the summer, people are taking vacations, and the days are longer. It's a recipe for good times and long-lasting memories. Sadly, it accounts for 37% of Nebraska's traffic fatalities. Someone's waiting for you at a ball game, a party, or a wedding. Don't let a crash keep you away. Focus on driving. Brought to you by the Nebraska chapter of the National Safety Council and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I'm Dawn. My journey began when my internal specialist found a mass. My biggest fear was missing out on future memories. Nebraska Cancer Specialists has made it possible for me to continue to be active and to be able to spend time with my family. Together We Are Stronger means that I know that I can't do it all myself. My NCS family has allowed me to create the memories that I want to make. NebraskaCancer.com.
It's time to make a game plan for game day parking. During big events, curbside parking in Omaha has a higher event rate. So save money for peanuts and Cracker Jack by parking in a garage or surface lot. You can even reserve an off-street parking space days, hours, or minutes in advance with the Park mobile app. Learn more about where to park and how to pay at parkomaha.com.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Come by the Zone booth at the bullpen inside of the Omaha Baseball Village. You can register to win a summer prize pack of tickets to the Henry Dorley Zoo, KC Royals tickets, and ice cream from Ted Wally's for a year. 13th and Mike Fahey. And a reminder, especially on a day like today, that the 1620 The Zone hydration sponsor is Zen Water. Time for a hydration break, presented by Zen Water. Thirsty for a change. We need that Zen Water on a day like today. I just saw a picture that Kevin Kugler tweeted out from inside of his vehicle, and it says it's 104 outside. So that's exciting. Can you imagine, Jack, being the sideline reporter with your hair all done up looking great on a night like this? Can you imagine?
But we'll tell you this, if you haven't come out yet tonight or haven't been outside a lot today,
sure.
While it is hot, there was a significant breeze today.
Oh, it's very windy.
It's out of the south, so it's like a blast furnace.
Feels like a furnace in your face.
I'm just thinking about how it could affect play tonight here. We got a wind coming out of the south right now, pretty significant. So
yeah. See. We will talk about that as the show rolls on. So we'll have Mitch Sherman join us at the bottom of the hour, so just a few minutes from now. But the first question that he got today in his mailbag, Jack, was essentially about, will Nebraska get off to a hot start? Grant asked him, Nebraska's schedule looks very manageable, although I feel like we say that every year.
Said that last year.
Could the Huskers enjoy a Mizzou type of breakout year? And if you don't know, Missouri, and Mitch pointed this out, Missouri improved from 6-7 in 22 to 11-2 in 23. So they went up by 5 wins. Now, Missouri had made a bowl game in 2022. They lost that. That's why they were sub 500. Great year last year. They were in the playoff mix. And in an era of the 12-teamer, I'm pretty sure that they would have been in the playoff. That was year 4 for Eli Drinkwitz. Obviously, this will be year 2. But this topic in particular, I want to go with something that Mitch said a little bit later on. He said, yes, the Huskers' schedule appears manageable, but to come anywhere near 11 wins, they likely must start 7-0. And he added, I don't think the Huskers will win them all. They could open 5-2 or even 6-1 and still call it a good start. So that leads to the question, and I've been teasing this throughout the show so far today. Is that record the dividing line, in your opinion, Jack, between good start and bad start for Nebraska in the first 7 games? Because we have done the schedule game, and I know we will continue to do the schedule game in the lead up to the opener on August the 31st. We're going to talk a lot about, can they go 7-0? Can they go 6-1? And then I think some people will say, yeah, they'll go 5-2, and I think that I would be okay with that. I don't think anyone would be happy with 4-3. It doesn't seem like you would be happy with 5-2, though.
I'm thinking through it. Like, how were you feeling on October 26th, still not bowl eligible, going to Ohio State, and then looking down the schedule, UCLA coming to Lincoln, that might be your last best chance for a win, at Southern Cal, Wisconsin, and at Iowa.
So is the fear from that it puts an undue amount of pressure on one of those 5 games? And mainly the UCLA game.
100%, and it gets into clench mode, which this team, I want this team to be out of clench mode bowl-wise early in the season somehow. And the 5 number, the 6 number makes you're there already. That's like, think about that. You could hypothetically, obviously, we know that hypothetically does not happen, but you could with UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa, Illinois, at Purdue, and Rutgers. You could have October 5th. You could be celebrating your bowl eligibility.
So is the question, and the way that I asked it, what is the dividing line between a good start and a bad start? Is the question for you more focused on, are they bowl eligible or not? Because it just takes the pressure off of the last 5 games.
I think I'm answering a little bit of a different question, probably. I'm answering a question about what does it mean for the outlook for the rest of the year. But in terms of, good, I mean, you've got to go through the games. Like, give me the most hypothetical 2 losses. Let's say they don't get Colorado.
I would say so. If
Colorado and at Purdue.
If I am ranking the first 7 games in terms of least likely or most likely to be a loss to least likely, I think I would start and end with I would start with Colorado, just because I think Colorado's in Nebraska's heads. I've not said that out loud, but I kind of think Nebraska. I mean, they're certainly they're living rent free in all of our heads right now, Jack.
God.
But that doesn't have to mean that they're going to win. I think that we are putting
ranking. This is what I want to know.
Yeah, okay. I'd have Colorado 1. What did you say?
At Purdue, because it's on the road. Purdue's in year 2. They'll have a solid. They're going to get used to that defensive system.
Am I a crazy man for saying Rutgers 2 and then Purdue?
I know Rutgers is getting a little love.
What about Illinois? It's a Friday game, short week. It is a home game. Famously, Nebraska's hosting a Friday night home game this year.
I don't know. That's a great question.
Have you heard about this?
What's the hardest game? Illinois at Purdue or Rutgers? How do we or do we all feel about the same about all three of those games? I just default Purdue because I think they're going to take a step in year 2, and it's on the road.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go by the Vegas win totals, Rutgers has a higher win total than Purdue, Illinois, and Indiana. I think theirs is even higher than Colorado.
I think Indiana's going to be
year 1 under their coach.
I didn't include Indiana in that group on purpose,
even though it's a road game.
I think they're going to struggle this year compared to those other 3 at least.
So you would have Indiana down with the dregs that are UNI and UTEP.
Yeah, and that's a great setup for them to lose that game, and and be reminded.
Yeah, what if they're 5-1 going into that game, and it's like, sweet, they're about to lock up bowl eligibility before the Ohio State game.
Well, here's the thing. So if they would lose 2 of the or any of those games. If you lost the Colorado game, do you feel like you've got any good wins after that's all over?
But does that now?
Even if you're 6-1,
we're just asking questions over and over and over. But let me ask you this:
yeah.
But does that matter? Does that matter? Like, if you're talking about them in the playoff chase, of course it matters. We're not talking about them from that perspective, though. So, like, it would be okay. If that said, like, the debates that we were having stupidly in 2016 when they were 7-0, like, there was a very particular part of the fan base that didn't want that start to be real. And it's like they weren't a good team, but they were still 7-0. It was undeniable. They had won their games and lost 0 of their games. Right. So, like, in the end, I would ask, like, I mean, I understand why you're asking the question, but I would just turn it around on somebody who would be a dork and be like 6-1, but they haven't beat anybody. I say, who cares? It's year 2. We're not judging this team based on,
But the one test they did have, they lost.
They lost, for sure. I mean, it would definitely scare me in terms of predicting them to win any more of or many of the rest of the games. I think, look, I will say this. We need to stop putting UCLA in the bucket with all those other teams. We can remove them. It's just that they are a part of the 5-game stretch.
That's Illinois, closer to Illinois and Rutgers.
Yes, hot take. If UCLA followed the Ohio State game, we would more be talking, can they start 8-0 or 7-1 versus anything else? But it's just that they fall in that 5-game chunk, and they're a name. They're the UCLA Bruins. They play at the Rose Bowl. But I don't think that they belong in that tier of, oh my gosh, Ohio State, USC, Wisconsin, and at Iowa. Like, I don't feel like they belong in that group, but that's just me.
A 5-2 would be a real interesting going into the at Ohio State game because, what people are going to start bringing up then is obviously going to be what happened last year. You just got to get one more.
I know.
You just got to get one more.
And that's why every loss then brings so much pressure.
And then they go to Ohio State, and then they go to Ohio State, and you probably don't win that one. And then you come back for a UCLA game that Josh says that you should win.
Yes.
But then, I mean.
But what if they lost?
October 26th, in that scenario, that sounds like Clenchville, USA,
Yeah, can you imagine? They're 5-2 and suddenly they're 5-4. It's just like last year. They were 5-3 and then all of a sudden
they were. USC the next week, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap.
Hell is
there's only 2
again.
left. Wisconsin and Lincoln, November 23rd. I mean, and then all of a sudden you're starting to you say it's happening again, right?
So just don't do that then.
No.
Don't do that.
That's why I say if you can get that sewn up with October 5th.
Get it done.
October 5th.
Get it done.
Can you believe that? The Halloween candy's barely on the shelves at that point.
Yeah.
And you're already making bowl plans.
Oh, Reese's Pumpkins?
Barely on the shelves.
I love the Reese's Pumpkins.
The leaves won't have even changed at that point.
Salesperson Josh, who is a Colorado fan, says, Buffs living rent-free in your head. Love it. Yeah, but Nebraska's going to beat Colorado by like 21 points.
In the world.
They're going to beat them by 3 touchdowns. It'll be fine.
They paid rent in the 90s. It was paid.
Nice. Rent was paid.
Rent is paid in all these situations. That's why it's a dumb thing to say.
When we return, a man that does not live rent-free in our heads, but we love chatting with. That's Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. He will join us. 1620 The Zone is joined today by the Drug Enforcement Administration. To learn about the dangers of fentanyl or to join in the fight against drugs, visit DEA.gov. And 1620 The Zone is joined today by Pyramid Contractors, craftsmanship at its finest. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, Nick Grimm hanging out here at the Omaha Baseball Village. We're off today at 5:45 ahead of Tennessee and Texas A&M. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic joins us when we return here on 1620 The Zone.
An estimated 80% of Americans aren't getting their recommended daily amount of physical activity. It's time to move and keep moving, America. And when you need help, physical therapists and physical therapist assistants are by your side. Be your own champion. Choose more movement. Choose better health. choose physical therapy. Find out more information and a physical therapist at choosept.com/NE. Brought to you by the American Physical Therapy Association of Nebraska.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha frequently conducts clinical trials for a broad range of investigational treatments. Velocity is currently seeking participants to wear a Fitbit watch for 31 days with compensation of up to $200. Some other current studies include low T, COPD, flu, pediatric, infant, and RSV. They also perform vaccine studies for people of all ages. See current trials at velocityclinicaltrials.com, compensation for study-related time and travel, and find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
You don't have to wait for your perfect landscape. Patera Landscaping can book your project now and have it beautifully installed in time to enjoy this July and August for cookouts and get-togethers. Trees, bushes, colorful gardens, water features, patios, outdoor kitchens. Patera Landscaping can do it all. Call today and have your perfect landscape this summer. Patera voted Omaha's best. PateraLandscaping.com.
If you want a perfect landscape, call Patera.
Fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat facing our nation. A dose small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil is potentially lethal. The Drug Enforcement Administration is working hard to remove this threat from our streets. Join the fight and make a difference. To learn more about a career with DEA, visit dea.gov/careers. People with different skills but the same mindset to keep drugs out of our communities. Visit them in person at Baseball Village during the College Baseball Championship.
In the heart of the country is a children's hospital at the forefront of pediatric innovation, where teddy bears and coloring books meet leading-edge treatment and technology, where warm smiles and a human touch go hand in hand with tools like remote patient monitoring and robotic-assisted surgery, and where a committed team of healthcare providers believes innovation is best used to deliver better care for kids. Children's Nebraska. Believe in better.
Twisted Thunder Fireworks is going to save you big money. You'll find the best variety and the lowest prices in the entire state of Nebraska. Don't believe us? See page after page of products and pricing online at twistedthunder.com, where you can watch everything before you buy and choose local pickup so it's ready to go for you at the tent. Go to twistedthunder.com to check out all of our locations in Nebraska, as well as our location in Council Bluffs. That's twistedthunder.com.
Attention sports and entertainment fans, Tickets for Less is your home for all your ticket needs. Don't miss out on the excitement of Omaha with great ticket options with no fees from Tickets for Less. Plus, did you know TFL has more to offer? Tickets for Less also has the best selection of tickets for Husker football games, the top concerts, and so much more, all with no added service fees at checkout. Shop for your seats now at ticketsforless.com or call today at 402-398-1999 and save big on your next ticket order today with promo code THEZONE at checkout.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
This hour is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money has people. Member FDIC. And a reminder that 1620 The Zone live at the Omaha Baseball Village is sponsored by the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, the #1 zoo in the nation. Visit omahazoo.com to plan your adventure. Josh Peterson and Jack Mitchell with you on the last day of the college baseball season. And now we go to the phone lines and welcome in our dear friend, Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. You know, Nick asked me in the text this morning if I'd like to join you at the Baseball Village.
Yeah.
And it was a quick, decisive no. I'm currently in the air conditioning and will be for as many minutes as possible for the remainder of today. So
yeah, understandable.
Good choice.
Sorry that I'm not joining you in person. I'm sure it's packed out there with all kinds of 100-degree lovers.
And it smells great around us is another thing that you're missing out on, Mitch. So that's a disappointment for you too.
Yeah, I'm really sad.
Mitch, we used a question, the first question actually in your mailbag as a prompt for a discussion. We kind of took it in a little bit different way, but when I read your answer to a reader earlier today about that 7-game start of the season, and the reader wanted to know, hey, what about 7-0? Is that possible? But you wrote, I don't think the Huskers will win them all. They could open 5-2 or even 6-1 and still call it a good start. And that got my mind racing of wondering, is that the dividing line? Is 5-2 the dividing line between a good start and a bad start? And we unpacked it a little bit, and it seemed like Jack might think that it's 6-1 versus 5-2. I wonder if that's what your answer would be, though. If they go 5-2 or better, that's a good start. 4-3 or worse, that's a bad start.
Well, I definitely lean more towards 6-1 than 4-3. I mean, 4-3 is not good. 4-3 against this, when you consider the schedule that's left for them, is a kind of a doom and gloom outlook for the second half of the season or the last 5 games of the season. You would really have to turn things around after a 4-3 start in order to make it a successful season. So I'm leaning more toward 6-1 being the cutoff for a good start. But I think not all 5-2s are created equal, and it would depend on how things looked and what those losses were like. But yeah, I'm probably more with you, Jack, in saying 6-1 is what it's going to take. I mean, hey, if Nebraska lost to Colorado and then lost another game, say the conference opener or something like that, and then won, 3 heading into Ohio State, you could maybe feel okay about it, but I'm not feeling spectacular. Fireworks aren't going off, I don't think, at 5-2. You do know then that you got to find one win in order to get bowl eligible. But I think we're past the point. Despite the fact that Nebraska's gone 7 years without getting to a bowl game, I do think to enter 2024, by the time we get to training camp, even right now, it's like 6-6 and a bowl game, like that's not going to be considered a good season. That's not where this team is. That's not what this team is lining up to give us as far as expectations.
The difficult thing about kind of doing, playing the schedule game by game thing, which is, kind of fun this time of year, but you go through that, and obviously, as you mentioned, the Colorado game is standing out at the beginning, and it feels like that's just really going to impact the vibes one way or the other going forward. But then you go down, and eventually you get to Big Ten play and the end of September, and you've got Illinois at Purdue, Rutgers, and then you have at Indiana. But I'm primarily focusing on those 3 games. Like, I know, we don't know what we don't know about these teams, and there's always things we assume about teams that end up not being true. But I have a hard time distinguishing what the biggest challenges between those 3 games are, and it's probably too early to know. But when you look at those 3 games, how do you look at those 3 in terms of how they shape up? We put them in this group before the quote unquote difficult part of the season, but those are going to be key in whether or not you hit these numbers that you're talking about.
You're talking about the last 3 before Ohio State?
Illinois. Yeah. Illinois at Purdue and Rutgers, and then you have at Indiana. Yeah. So I guess it's 4.
Okay. But I'd probably put at Indiana as like the least intimidating of those 4 because it's a first-year coach, and I think it's a big culture change at Indiana, and I think it's going to take them some time to get their footing, much like you saw with Purdue and Ryan Walters last year. But I expect that Purdue's going to be improved, and they're going to play better defense because that's who they are. That's who Walters is, and I think there were some slip-ups last year, and he's a first-time head coach, and there was a learning process. But I think Purdue will be one of the more improved teams in the league. I don't know how much it's going to show in their record, but when I watched Purdue last year, I felt like Purdue got thoroughly outcoached when the Boilers came to Lincoln, and it was one of the lesser competitive games of the season, and that probably shouldn't have been the case because Nebraska and Purdue have played some close ones in recent years, and Purdue actually had gotten the better of Nebraska more often than not until last year. So Indiana, I think, is going to be in that boat next year. So I'll eliminate that from the 4 Big Ten games before Ohio State. And I'm with you, Jack, in saying that those other 3 are the ones that, like, they're not like, it's not like they're coin flips necessarily, but like, I just talked about Purdue, and it's on the road. So that's a tough game. Illinois had a drop last year, but I mean, if you saw them the year before with what Bielema was building there, you would have thought Illinois in 2024 is not going to be a team you want to play. So I don't know that trend from a year ago is going to continue. I could see Illinois getting back on track, and it's a Friday night in Lincoln, so it's going to be an interesting environment, kind of a juiced up environment, different though. You don't always know what to expect in that kind of a situation. They're going to want revenge on Nebraska because I think Illinois probably feels like that's a game that they could have won in Champaign last season, and obviously did not. You had Nebraska looks at the goal line stand at the beginning of that game as like, it was a turning point in the season, but then it didn't end up being a turning point that led to what Nebraska wanted. I'm sure Illinois looks at that and goes, wow, that's we have to score in that situation. And that's on us that we didn't score. So that's a game I'm sure that's circled on their schedule. And then I think Rutgers, like, we're probably not giving them their due in most of the Big Ten because in Nebraska, they've never beaten Nebraska. And you can't say that about many Big Ten teams in the Big Ten era for Nebraska. But I think they're on the rise. And Shiano got into a bowl game last year, and he's a good coach, and he's the one guy who's proven he can win at Rutgers. So while it's at home for Nebraska, and it's certainly one that I expect Nebraska to be favored in, it's not anything you can take lightly. And Nebraska can't take anyone in the Big Ten lightly. And so that's all three of those games. Like it's hard to say like, Nebraska's going to win them all because there hasn't been a program that's won those games consistently.
And they're the keys. Like, they're the keys to this whole. Those three are the keys.
Mitch, along those lines, like, and I guess this kind of goes back to the question that you led the mailbag with. Are people putting too much like stock or hope or eggs into the basket or whatever of the 7-0 start potentially? Because like it's been thrown around so much. I know I've done it. We all look at that runway and say, it seems manageable at least on paper. And I wonder if there would be this negative reaction, even if it's 6-1. But if that one loss is to Colorado, that people are just going to be like, oh, geez, this isn't what I was signing up for in year two.
It'd be a pretty unrealistic faction of the fan base, I think. You'd be mad at for certain after the Colorado game, and that's a blow. I mean, that's a gut check. It depends on how the game goes, but just even a 1-point loss, and people have had enough of that. I mean, it's been 3 of these games that have been billed of the return to the old conference rival, and Colorado's gotten the best of Nebraska every time. A heartbreaker at home where your quarterback got hurt in Frost's debut, and then you gave the game away in the second half in Boulder, and then last year with the first year coaches and all of the hype in Boulder and Colorado blew their doors off in the second half. Like every one of those in its own way was ultra disappointing. So anything that's not a victory in Lincoln is a punch in the face for sure. But if Nebraska were to rebound with 5 consecutive wins after that, it's going to be long forgotten at that point. And 6-1 would be considered successful, I think, for anyone who's reasonable.
Hey, Mitch, I want to ask you about the piece you wrote, I guess it's a couple of weeks now, that you wrote on Jalen Gramstad, which was the piece was just the visual of him, signing up late at night online to go to this camp that I didn't even know existed in terms of a camp. And it kind of is like the last chance for a whole bunch of these athletes. And I thought your piece was really interesting on him. What do you think now that it's come to fruition that they've sort of consummated this relationship and he is going to play here? What do you think the expectation is in terms of his role, and why do you think Nebraska? I know they wanted a quarterback, but to go the NAIA route with, granted, somebody who's got a lot of experience, but why do you think Rule was willing to pull the trigger on something like this?
Well, I think the expectation is going to have to come from what Nebraska sees. They're starting to see already what they're seeing now in the OTA work, and then really when they're going to get reports immediately from the coaches can be on the field and work with them, and we can't have a ball out there. It's a crazy dumb rule, but in the off season, and then the players will work out and do passing and route running, and they're gonna learn. They're gonna know a lot about him, I think, by the time training camp starts.
Okay.
A lot more than they knew coming after a 90-minute workout at the Hawk Center on June 10th.
Right.
So that's where you set the expectations from. And if it's what I suspect, and sometimes you just get a vibe about people, you can talk to somebody on the phone or in person or watch them interact for a short period of time, and you just get a sense about who they are. And I watched Gramstad without knowing who he was. I just watched him as just this blonde kid who was out there, and I knew he, showed up with his tennis shoes strung over his shoulder and, a knapsack and like, hey, I'm here. I play quarterback, that kind of thing. Like, what's your name again? Can you spell that? Paid my $25 online. Like, don't you have my name? But
so good. Good.
I just from watching him in that period of time, I knew he had played the position. Like, I didn't know he was the NAIA Player of the Year, but you could definitely tell with the way that his feet moved and the way the ball came out of his hands that he had some serious moxie. Whenever he played, that he did it well. I knew that, and then come to learn, a couple hours later who he was, and it was very intriguing. And I talked to him the next morning, and I could, he was very conscientious, like little things that I know coaches look at when they recruit guys and the experiences they have, just like personal experiences. Like I texted him, and he got back to me in a few minutes, and he said, "I can call you after 8. I'm going to be at work. Is that okay?" And he called me and he's like, "I hope you can hear me all right. I'm on a mower." I mean, he's mowing the golf course. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool, man. Like I'm interviewing you." So like 90% of guys wouldn't return that. They would be like, "No, I'm working. I'll get back to this guy in 6 hours." But so there was that. And then just the way he answered questions, he wasn't trying to impress me. I don't think he was trying to impress the coaches when he saw him the other day. It's like, his play, his experience, whatever is on his bio sheet is going to speak for itself. He's got, I believe, I suspect from my interactions again and observations, he's got like just this cool confidence about him where I think he's going to impact that room in a great way. Because as much as ready as Dylan Raiola is as a true freshman, there are still things about college football that are going to be very new to him. And in the way that he has to watch film and go to meetings and even at the NAIA level, they do it in a way that's above high school. To a certain degree. I hesitate to. It's not a high, like Northwestern Iowa College. He's not going to see the same level of competition that Raiola saw at Buford High School in Georgia. There are better players playing against Raiola than there were against Gramstead, but just the expectation is a little bit different. He's older, more experienced. He's going to help Dylan. He's going to help that room. So I think that's the expectation going in, is just that he's a piece that adds something to everyone in the quarterback group. What they're going to get out of him, like it's just going to be very dependent on the situation. I mean, ideally, I think you'd like to groom him to be a guy who's ready to go in if Dylan turns his ankle, and you just free up Heinrich Haarberg to be a weapon for you offensively. If you need a long-term number 2, it's probably Haarberg. But if you need a short-term number 2, you need somebody to help you out in the room, this is a guy you're comfortable with, and it lets Danny Kaelin sit back and learn and develop. So that's a pretty big impact for somebody that you found at a post-grad camp that costs $25 to get into.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Mitch, as always, we appreciate the time, even if you just joined us over the phone today. Thank you so much. Have a great day and try to stay cold.
I will. I'll be in the press box tonight. So
later, Mitch.
Say hello. Bye-bye.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. We are here, and we are powered by Access Bank, here for a reason yours, and by Children's Nebraska. You can stop by the Zone booth inside of the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from 10 Wally's. 10 Wally's official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating more than 35 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson in the Old Market, Omaha. Obviously, he said a few things in there that I know you like, Jack Mitchell. We got an email about Gramstead that we can get to on the other side, plus some news coming down about Big East basketball television rights as we finish up this hour here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Jack, we're going to be off the air in 2 hours.
Welcome to the Big East television rights.
Welcome to the Big East television rights. I love it. So we will get to that. We'll wrap up this hour. We still have Ryan McGee. He's going to join us in person. He's going to brave the elements and hang out with us at 5 o'clock. Nebraska adds a player to the roster. There's so many things. So many things. We continue on next. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, Nick Grimm here at the OBV, Peter Krenzer in our Zone studios. It's 1620, The Zone.
He thinks bean counting is an iPhone app. He is the most uninteresting man in the world.
Hi, I'm Bob Berger. Don't just get your taxes done, get them managed. If you're tired of losing sleep over your business and personal taxes, you're ready to make more money, give us a call.
Call Berger, Elliott, and Pritchard CPAs at 402-551-1919 or visit bepcpa.com.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Going on now, save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT with approved credit, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 7/08/2024. See dealer for details.
Twisted Thunder Fireworks is going to save you big money. You'll find the best variety and the lowest prices in the entire state of Nebraska. Don't believe us? See page after page of products and pricing online at twistedthunder.com, where you can watch everything before you buy and choose local pickup so it's ready to go for you at the tent. Go to twistedthunder.com to check out all of our locations in Nebraska as well as our location in Council Bluffs. That's twistedthunder.com.
And we're back live, and what a beautiful day here at the park. Just listen to that crowd. Excitement's in the air. They've come to see the best of the best from all over the globe in what's been a fan favorite for nearly 130 years. That's right, it's all at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, the #1 zoo in the nation. Be sure to swing by between games and check out our newly reimagined Hubbard Orangutan Forest. Plan your visit at omahazoo.com.
If you've ever been injured in an accident, the Nebraska Advocates are here to get you back in the game. Their experienced personal injury attorneys will guide you through the legal process, answer your questions, and fight for your physical, emotional, and financial recovery. We'll help you access medical care, get your car repaired, and find the resources you need. Get a free consultation at nebraskaadvocates.com. You deserve an attorney who will go to bat for you. You deserve an advocate.
Upgrade your hydration this summer with Zen Water. Ultra pure, refreshing alkaline water. Zen Water transforms you with every quenching sip. Vapor distilled for ultra purity with the perfect blend of electrolytes added for taste. Zen Water is pure, elevated water. To learn more, visit zenwater.com. ZENWTR.com. And stop by your local retailer to find your Zen today.
Fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat facing our nation. A dose small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil is potentially lethal. The Drug Enforcement Administration is working hard to remove this threat from our streets. Join the fight and make a difference. To learn more about a career with DEA, visit dea.gov/careers. People with different skills but the same mindset to keep drugs out of our communities. Visit them in person at Baseball Village during the College Baseball Championship.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell here at the Omaha Baseball Village, where this hour is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money has people. Member FDIC. And we just did this during the commercial break. 1620 The Zone hydration sponsor is Zen Water. It is time for a hydration break presented by Zen Water. Thirsty for a change on a day like today. You need to make sure that you are hydrated. So enjoy some nice, cool Zen Water and enjoy the game tonight. We will have to, let's pick up the Grahamstead stuff at the top of the next hour because we're just a little short for time here, Jack. So I'll read a couple of comments. First of all, we were talking about clothes. Oldest item of clothes that you own. You had a wonderful idea for an app where you could check in so you know how many times you've worn a shirt, let's say. Rick writes.
Sounds dumb when you say that way, by the way.
I thought it was a great idea. Okay, it was a great idea. Rick says 30-year-old boxer briefs, they are just that comfortable.
That's very questionable.
Now, I said that's gross.
Very questionable.
And he followed up with said, but maybe not as gross as my 40-year-old socks. That seems impossible.
You can't wear that regular. That's a once-a-year wear situation.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would survive.
You can't have that in regular rotation and in the starting lineup and be doing that.
By the way, the Shams-Woj war, you were famously following it. Which side were you on in the Shams-Woj war? I figured you love being on the internet. I figured you were following the story.
I don't have a.
Well, anyway,
aggressively have no opinion.
All right. Well, Rob Pelinka, he is the Lakers general manager. He said that from the start, JJ was in our Plan A pool of coaches that we were really interested in exploring. So it doesn't really give anything away on the plan of action in terms of the Woj-Shams war. So nothing from you on that, right?
No,
all right. Well,
other than vaguely knowing who they both are,
they're insiders.
Beyond that,
They're
it's like
insiders.
I know who they are. Beyond that, I have no idea what you're referencing or talking about.
All right. Well, we'll move on from that topic as quickly as possible. You said it going into break. Welcome to the Big East media rights.
Yes.
According to the Sports Business Journal, the Big East, home of the Creighton Blue Jays, which play like 3 blocks away from where we're sitting.
Beautiful facility.
The Big East is on the cusp of formally signing a new set of 6-year media rights packs as soon as this week with Fox, NBC, and TNT that will begin with the 25-26 school year, and it will take them through the 2030-2031 school year. They don't have the numbers in terms of how much the Big East is going to get paid, but according to this article, a significant rights fee uptick is going to happen with the programs, and CBS apparently got boxed out. That's a basketball reference.
No, I do know that.
You go for a rebound, you get boxed out. CBS, it was like TNT and NBC were Charles Barkley, and CBS was Sean Bradley.
Right. Yeah. Right. Does Bishop feel vindicated about this when he was cheering
his little
for
points or whatever?
When the points and the extra monies that
he
they
loves
got
those
for
things.
beating Illinois.
Yeah.
The original welcome
Here's
to the
a
Big
thing.
East vote.
Here's a little tiny thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Now he gets more dollars.
Well, it paid off for him. Thanks, UConn.
Now he doesn't have to root for UConn. They have the new TV rights. They're making more money.
Right? That finally ends the charade, right?
So yeah, there you go. So that'll be fun. Maybe Charles Barkley will stick around and he'll opine about Big East basketball.
Most important question is what's happening between the NBA changing and the Big East situation with the
inside the NBA.
No,
Round Ball
I
Rock.
don't care about the Charles Barkley. I want to hear another song.
Round Ball. It's going to go to NBC.
Taking it back.
John Tesh said he would record a new version.
Or is Fox going to hold it hostage?
Oh, talk about Shams versus Woj. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah. I think they might hold it hostage. I would.
I look forward to finding out what happens. When we return next hour, Jalen Gramstad and why Jack Mitchell thinks that this is the greatest backup quarterback in the history of backup quarterbacks.
Very excited.
You can come by the zone booth at the bullpen inside of the Omaha Baseball Village. Register to win a summer prize pack of tickets to the Henry Dorley Zoo, KC Royals tickets, ice cream from 10 Wallies for a year. 13th and Mike Fahey. We are joined today, 1620 The Zone is, by Pyramid Contractors, craftsmanship at its finest, as well as the Drug Enforcement Administration. To learn about the dangers of fentanyl or to join in the fight against drugs, visit DEA.gov. We have Ryan McGee in about an hour. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell here at the Omaha Baseball Village on 1620 The Zone.
In the heart of the country is a children's hospital at the forefront of pediatric innovation, where teddy bears and coloring books meet leading-edge treatment and technology, where warm smiles and a human touch go hand in hand with tools like remote patient monitoring and robotic-assisted surgery, and where a committed team of healthcare providers believes innovation is best used to deliver better care for kids. Children's Nebraska. Believe in better.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
At Rotella's Italian Bakery, they put unsurpassed product quality into everything they bake. Old world skill and experience are masterfully blended with modern efficiencies to create the delicious breads, rolls, hamburger and hot dog buns, and other specialty products that have delighted their customers since 1921. Combining customer satisfaction with uncompromising quality is their goal. Rotella's Italian Bakery, a century of pride in every slice. To see the full menu of products, visit rotellasbakery.com.
And we're back live, and what a beautiful day here at the park. Just listen to that crowd. Excitement's in the air. They've come to see the best of the best from all over the globe in what's been a fan favorite for nearly 130 years. That's right, it's all at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, the #1 zoo in the nation. Be sure to swing by between games and check out our newly reimagined Hubbard Orangutan Forest. Plan your visit at omahazoo.com.
Curveballs belong in baseball, not your bank. When you choose Access Bank for your personal or commercial banking needs, you'll know what to expect every time. Personalized, all-in-one service from experts who know banking and the Omaha Metro. Access Bank has convenient branch locations and easy online solutions. Because we're here for a reason, to make your experience a home run. Learn more at accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. 2 locations in the old market right off of Jackson Street and also in Benson right next to Taste of New Orleans. You know, one of the toughest things about the summer is trying to figure out what you're going to do with the kids, right? You got to fill some time. It's a great time to go visit either one of the Ted and Wally's locations. Your kids are going to love getting some ice cream. You're going to love getting out of the house. It is a win-win for both of you. So whether you're going downtown and checking out the old market and getting you some ice cream or going to Benson and getting some Taste of New Orleans, stop by and tell them Severe sent you.
Your home for the Men's College World Series is 1620 The Zone. KOC and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. Sponsored by Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center. This hour of the Men's College World Series special on 1620 The Zone is presented by Nebraska Medicine. Nebraska Medicine, together extraordinary. 1620 The Zone is live at the Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours and Children's Nebraska. Here are your hosts for today's broadcast on 1620 The Zone.
Jack Mitchell with you. This hour is presented by Nebraska Medicine, together extraordinary. And 1620 The Zone, live at the Omaha Baseball Village, is sponsored by the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, the #1 zoo in the nation. Visit omahazoo.com to plan your adventure. Dave, the Creighton fan, just walked up and was like, hey, I heard you guys talking about 7-0 on the radio. Who's saying that? And then Jack immediately goes into groin kick discussion.
Well, I can
tell.
No.
I am guarding myself.
Hold on.
I am guarding myself, sir.
You took a bunch of context and did not add it to that discussion. I could tell he was leading on. He was like, who's writing that? Who's saying that? Who's and he's about to make fun of the fact that Nebraska fans are too positive.
Sure.
And then I said, do you know who the hell I am?
Wait, you did.
I have written a book on negativity and worried about growing kick.
Hey, wait, real quick. What about the 10-2 prediction?
That was a bit.
It was a bit. I always forget about your bits. I always forget about your bits. Speaking of bits,
people loved that bit.
Speaking of bits and speaking of loving, we will talk about Nebraska's backup quarterback situation in just a moment. Ryan McGee's going to join us in person in an hour. You want to talk about someone, Jack? Every year he stops by. And every year, someone will be at the OBV, and I'll say, hey, Ryan McGee will join us. And multiple people come up and say, did I hear you say Ryan McGee? And I said, yes, I did.
He's a fan. People are not. He's a fan, but
people
are
love
a fan
Ryan.
of him.
And I will say this to anyone standing around listening, Ryan is as awesome as he comes across on TV. He is super cool, super nice. So Ryan McGee will join us in a few minutes.
I've seen him on TV and heard him on radio many times. I've never met him, so
a few minutes times 20, because 20 times 3 is 60. When you say a few, do you mean 3?
A few? No. It could be a wide range.
Okay,
wide
interesting.
Range, I would
say.
Say.
Tweet us at USC 1620.
Let's don't come in here with Nebraska fans are too optimistic talk.
That's what Dave the Creighton fan said. Dave also said he loves our show. Shout out to Dave.
Well,
thank you for listening, Dave. All right, let's get back to this Jalen Gramstad situation, which you love talking about, and you love.
I love it more after we talked to Mitch about it.
You love all the reactions to it, even when people jokingly poke the bear and say you're like, you love those reactions.
No. First of all, if I was already excited about this, and full disclosure, he went.
Yes, can you explain that there's a large bias here, and it's not just Nebraska fandom that's talking.
It's because he attended. He will now attend both of the universities I attended, the colleges I went to. Northwestern College, where he played football. That was my undergrad. I went there.
And then he went to Nebraska.
I went to Orange City, and then I ended up going to law school at Nebraska so I could do this today.
You're kind of like our own Mike Greenberg. You went to Northwestern.
Yes.
So you'll be rooting for him because he went to Northwestern.
But, I legit followed his career. Unlike anyone covering him now for Nebraska,
100%.
I legit followed his career.
When this popped on the radar, you were one person that I saw who actually could opine and say, I can actually tell you what's going on with this man.
Yeah, and I can.
Yeah.
I would say if I had to comp him, just in terms of style of play, I'm not putting, but I would say Joe Gans is the guy that I would probably comp him to.
In regards to style of play? Does he run like this?
Running, good avoidability, has some
back-breaking interceptions.
Running. Wow, you're being
just
tough
kidding.
on Joe.
Just kidding.
Wow.
Joe Gans was awesome in 08.
I didn't know a ton about him personally, though. And then, Mitch is really hyping it up with him going to his job, mowing the golf course. I was going to say, it's probably Landsmere Golf Course, which I played before in Orange City, Iowa.
Look at you, handshake me.
Right?
You should get this guy on your radio show.
I could have got Mitch a whole lot of other context back on what was happening with that. But, the whole thing, paying $25 online.
That's pretty cool.
A couple of nights before to go to this whole camp, which is an interesting camp in itself, I think.
100%. Yeah, you and I are.
I would love to hear about all the stories of the guys who go to this thing, who either didn't get recruited out of high school or were at junior college and trying to get recruited. And the fact that you go in and we'll see what comes out of this. It was like Rudy's tryout in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
At Notre Dame is what it's in the movie, at least, is what it sounds like.
And now he's at Nebraska.
And now it apparently worked out that he impressed him enough. It's a cool, fascinating. It's an altogether good story. There are no losers in this story whatsoever. I have no idea. I mean, listen, in terms of what I hope he never has a meaningful snap at Nebraska.
Anti-Northwestern college players. Typical Jack.
I hope he doesn't have a meaningful snap. I hope he's coming in blowouts and piling up some stats for that. But in truth, that's what I hope. But if it gets to that point, I have no idea. It will be fascinating. Would be fascinating to see what would happen, and what will happen in a scenario where they need someone long-term, because as a backup, Mitch seems to think that they're going to put Harburg back in more of a gadget role.
Or they're wanting, allows them
he
to
alluded
move
to
him
that
around.
In his article. He alluded that to a tweet. He alluded to that when he was talking to us. He seems like he thinks they want to do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Well, and remember last year, if you go to the Minnesota game, this is not one of those typical, they should move Jamal Lord to running back. No. Heinrich Harburg was playing tight end. He had
catches against Minnesota, did he not?
This is not some fun move the athlete to a position where he doesn't suck at quarterback.
Right.
This guy was at a different position. I think that's pretty interesting. What I find to enjoy in this discussion is the number of different opinions. I did a couple shows with Mike Schaefer a week and a half ago at the start of the College World Series. He is someone that doesn't think this player will ever see the field, that he is being brought in for depth, and that's good, and that they like Harburg and think that Harburg is going to stay at quarterback.
Okay.
And then, no, and I'm not using that to argue. I'm just saying, and then Mitch, he thinks this could allow for them to move some players, or move a player around, rather, and that what if an injury happened, they could put Gramstad in right away. I tend to lean on the Schaefer side, but Mitch is obviously super plugged in, so it certainly makes me wonder. I wonder what they're saying behind the scenes, and that's the thing that we don't know, right? Matt Rule's going to say only good things and positive things. I think we're going to get some answers through the scuttlebutt of fall camp, and I think that should be a whole lot of fun. I've done some research into it, and you can actually talk about the level of football. That jump just seems so large from NAIA. Mitch said it. last year Dylan Raiola was playing better high school players than Jalen Gramstad was seeing at the NAIA level.
Yeah,
all right, so
sure.
that says something. So it's like if we're always like, what's it going to be like for the freshmen to go, from high school football to college football? Similar question, but what's it going to be like for the NAIA guy to go all the way up to Big Ten level football? So I'm curious about that.
Yeah, but bottom line is it is just a legitimately fun, cool story.
It's an awesome story.
And like I said, it'd be great. It would be cool. I mean, best case scenario, Josh is, he does get a chance. He was a Nebraska fan growing up in Northwest Iowa, and he gets a chance to be on the field at some point.
Yeah.
Right. As in a good situation, if possible. That'd be good. Who knows? Maybe week 1. I think he's got a red shirt too. I think he's still got a red shirt.
2 years.
He could play a second year.
So at the very least,
so even if he played 4 games,
in theory, we will definitely see him in the spring game, barring an injury. Like, we're going to get to watch this guy play against, this level competition in the spring game next year.
Unless he plays more than 4 games this year.
Unless he plays more than 4 games this year, which that would
seem unlikely. But
that sounds like a scary scenario. And it's not even about him. It's more like, oh my gosh, again.
Yes.
So are you good now, like with the quarterback depth in the room?
I'm better. Yeah.
Better.
I just we've discussed this umpteen times. You
Many
and I
times.
have personally.
We love talking about it. We just call each other up on
don't-
Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings.
I
and we
just
talk
don't know
about football.
I don't know
For an
why
hour.
when multiple seasons
And record it.
were Bulls were missed because there was not adequate depth at the quarterback position 2 years in a row. Okay. And so it would seem to me that that's a pretty acceptable thing to stress out a little bit here. Given
That's what I'm asking.
Given the pattern the last 2 years.
So do you feel good now?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they need to do anything else, but I think the entire fan base collectively has a little anxiety.
No, you
about
should.
that situation.
No, you should.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
I think where you and
I don't know enough about what this guy. Boy, would it be awesome if he was able to be a serviceable backup if they needed that? Sure. I think Mitch is right. I think they'll probably err to the experience of Harburg if it was long term. I'm not excited about that, right? For obvious
And there's a lot of
reasons
people that are
last
with
year.
you on that one.
So no, I'm not. I don't think it's solved. I'm glad they've got more options, I guess. Because even that, they've been down seasons where they just don't even have options.
Well, how many players played last year? So you had Harburg, you had Sims, and you had Chuba. So that was 3 last year. What was it the year before? Purdy played. Casey Thompson played. I'm forgetting somebody. In 2022.
Smothers? Was he still
Logan
there then?
Smother. That was 2021.
That was 21.
Yeah. But that year, it was Logan. It was Adrian. Didn't somebody else play in 2021 as well? I think somebody did.
It's been a ton. I mean, you can go back to the Riker Fife, Zach Darlington days if you want to.
Oh,
it's been a lot of years in a row where this has been an issue.
Yeah, it'd be nice. We love talking about the variety of things that have gone against Nebraska, whether it's like big picture college football stuff or like tiny things on a year-by-year or game-by-game basis. One of the things that would be nice for this program is to get through a year without any injuries and a quarterback and a lack of needing to bench a guy. Like even the year where Adrian was healthy, he still got benched, right?
That's a good point.
Like 2020, he got benched.
Yes. How different is that's exactly right. You've had that, whether it's injury or needing to be benched, just how incredible would just having that consistency of the same guy starting every game be?
Because you figure that
season.
You figure if you have a consistent guy starting every game and there's no injuries, that means the floor of the guy is it's solid at least. It's better than the floor has been lately because the years where a quarterback didn't get hurt, there were guys who got benched.
Right.
Like again, I'm off the top of my head, and I might be wrong on this, Jack. I think the last time that they made it all the way through a season without an injury, was it one of the Armstrong years?
Probably an Armstrong
was
year.
it like 2014? No, he got hurt in 2014.
But even one of the years they were
2014, I think.
Was it? Yeah,
because 2016 Riker Fife did
Kellogg.
start. And that was 2013. So I think the last year that a quarterback made it all the way through, front to back, was Bo's last season.
So
I think.
So the last 3 coaches have not yet had the last 3 coaches didn't have it.
Is
that every
wild.
year? Or are we forgetting? Are we forgetting a situation?
Well,
Zach Lee. What about Zach Lee?
Zach Lee was all the way back.
Or, I mean, not the Tanner Lee. All the quarterbacks have the same name, Tanner Lee.
They do? It's like some form of Martinez and Lee and Zach.
Taylor.
Didn't he get hurt in
Tanner
one
Lee
of the
miss
games?
a game?
I thought that Patrick O'Brien came in during that long slog at the end of the year.
Did they?
It might have only been a half of a game though.
I think for the purposes of this, the question is, did they start every,
Did they start every game?
Start every game? How often has that happened? Has there been,
Yeah.
And I think that Tommy Armstrong year, I think you're right about that.
Yeah, and by the way, so 2014, he threw 345 passes. The next guy down was Riker Fife. He threw 10. There's no way he would have started a game and thrown fewer than 10 passes. So 2014 was the last time. 2017, I'll look that up real fast. That's a good poll.
Because didn't Riker start the Tennessee Bowl game?
And that was in 2016. Yeah. In 2017, Patrick O'Brien threw 30 balls. So that doesn't really tell us a whole lot. I thought that Tanner Lee maybe missed a half. That could have been the original Wang Nachos day. When we were hanging out at, the second half when Nebraska was getting boat raced. And
they almost came back in that game.
They did almost come back. What a weird.
I don't think that was behind POB.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I thought Patrick O'Brien played in a game that year. Nick, is anyone commenting on the YouTube? Does anyone have any takes about the quarterbacks?
Somebody's doing that. If I only had I've got internet here,
You do have internet, yeah.
I could just sit here and blindly speculate with my memory.
Wow, people roasting Nick in the text machine. Will says, Nick is great on the radio, but the second I watch the Grum on video, ouch, it's a painful sight. Sheesh.
What does that mean?
Wow. I think he just called Nick ugly.
What a weirdly mean thing to say.
Will, that is hurtful.
My mom thinks I'm handsome.
Yeah, there you go. Nick, I like the mustache.
Thank you.
I like the mustache.
A lot of people like the mustache.
This hour is presented by Nebraska Medicine. Join our team at nebraskamed.com/careers. We are also powered by Access Bank, here for a reason yours, and by Children's Nebraska. And a reminder to come by the Zone booth inside of the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from Ted Wally's. Ted Wally's official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating more than 35 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson in the Old Market, Omaha. Ryan McGee will join us in about 45 minutes. We roll on here at the Omaha Baseball Village. The end of the season, now less than 2 hours away. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, and the very handsome Nick Grimm. Peter Krenzer back at our Zone studios. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, special edition here at the OBV on 1620 The Zone.
It's time to make a game plan for game day parking. During big events, curbside parking in Omaha has a higher event rate. So save money for peanuts and Cracker Jack by parking in a garage or surface lot. You can even reserve an off-street parking space days, hours, or minutes in advance with the Park mobile app. Learn more about where to park and how to pay at parkomaha.com.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Going on now, save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT with approved credit, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 7/08/2024. See dealer for details.
Fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat facing our nation. A dose small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil is potentially lethal. The Drug Enforcement Administration is working hard to remove this threat from our streets. Join the fight and make a difference. To learn more about a career with DEA, visit dea.gov/careers. People with different skills but the same mindset to keep drugs out of our communities. Visit them in person at Baseball Village during the College Baseball Championship.
In the heart of the country is a children's hospital at the forefront of pediatric innovation, where teddy bears and coloring books meet leading-edge treatment and technology, where warm smiles and a human touch go hand in hand with tools like remote patient monitoring and robotic-assisted surgery, and where a committed team of healthcare providers believes innovation is best used to deliver better care for kids. Children's Nebraska. Believe in better.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistance, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
Twisted Thunder Fireworks is going to save you big money. You'll find the best variety and the lowest prices in the entire state of Nebraska. Don't believe us? See page after page of products and pricing online at twistedthunder.com, where you can watch everything before you buy and choose local pickup so it's ready to go for you at the tent. Go to twistedthunder.com to check out all of our locations in Nebraska, as well as our location in Council Bluffs. That's twistedthunder.com.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Swift for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. Now that we got through the spring and we're in the summer, what's better for summer than ice cream? I always say, get yourself a bucket load. Now I know they don't sell it by the buckets at Ted and Wally's, but they do sell it by the pint. They do sell it by the half gallon. All you got to do is call ahead to get yours reserved today. And so many flavors. Go on social media, whether it's Facebook or on Twitter, and they have a list of the day's ice creams for both locations. That's in the old market, of course, and in Benson. Swing by there, get yourself some great ice cream this summer, and tell them Severe sent you.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the roofery.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more DaVinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the roofery. Make the right call.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Hour 2 is presented by Nebraska Medicine. Together extraordinary. And a reminder that the 1620 The Zone hydration sponsor is Zen Water. It is time for a hydration break presented by Zen Water. Thirsty for a change. Jack Mitchell just enjoyed his hydration break. I'm Josh Peterson, Nick Grimm here. Peter Krenzer back in our Zone studio. Mark Onweiler now in the building as well. Look at us.
Jack Mitchell softball experience all-star.
How many hits does he have now? One? 3 hits.
He's hot. He's on a late season tear.
Don't let him get hot. Oh, wait.
Don't let him get hot for the postseason.
Mark, just walk out there. You'll be plenty hot.
I would be much cooler if this is the most exhausted I've been from sitting on my ass for 2 hours in my life. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's that shower tonight. Gonna feel good. By the way, I missed this from Will. So Will had texted in saying that Nick is painful to look at. Now he adds, you didn't read the first part. Nick's fine. It's his style. So there was a text. I mean, this isn't going to get better for Will, but Will did send in another text, Nick, that I missed. It said, crikey, nice hat, Nick, unless it matches your holster and cap pistol.
It does.
Oh, there you go. So, okay. So everything's good then.
Yeah. Why would I not accessorize the appropriate way?
Everything is good. Everything is good for Nick.
You're going to need them when they come, when they get there.
When they're here.
All right.
It's a toasty one here, Jack.
It is absolutely.
Can you imagine having to play on the field in this?
Again, I asked the question, is this how out of the ordinary is what we're dealing with today for these players and the fans as well? Because again, if you're in, I mean, especially for Texas A&M, like those guys,
you brought up a great point.
You're getting this all the time.
Well, what did the A&M
even
woman say earlier? We like this weather.
Oh yeah, we like it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a
second. I went for a run with somebody this weekend, and she was trying to say the whole time, "This is great." No, it's not. No. It's okay to say it sucks, but it will help for the fall. It will prepare you, but you don't have to pretend like you enjoy this.
You might like 85, but you don't like 105.
No, 100 is 100.
You're just trying to make a point. You're trying to. You don't.
Well, and like,
there's a breeze.
It feels nice.
Whatever just happened was good.
The heat, it does affect, especially when you're out there for a while. You're gonna feel more exhausted. You will probably lose just a little bit of that function, and so dare I say tonight, is something really dumb going to happen for either of these sides? And we're like, that's why they lost.
No,
you don't think so?
No, these guys have been playing baseball. Look, I mean, we got a whole bunch of people who are listening who are baseball parents, and they got these kids going to these games constantly. I've been to 1 million games as a parent where it's this hot too. These guys have been playing
much about your kids.
No, these guys have been to 1 million games, like in terms of. These guys have been to 1 million games that have been this hot. during their summer career.
So you're saying this ain't no thing?
No, I'm sure
for
it's
us
not.
broadcasters. We don't do shows in the elements.
100%.
That's so many
true.
games.
You know, to be fair,
They probably have.
You know, Nick, remember back in early December, we did the show from outside of the radio station on that December day. And remember when the sun set? Can we put it in our contracts? We don't want to do that show outside this year.
Yes.
Oh, here, boss is right here. I want that in my contract. But that day was cold. I'm not built for that because I don't do that very often.
That's
Jack,
true.
you bring up a good point. These kids do this all the time.
Thank you. I mean,
do
they're
it all the
playing
time.
club
All right.
baseball
All right.
growing up. They're playing, a Legion or whatever they've got the equivalent of in Tennessee and Texas or wherever they come from. You know, it's they're Listen, I did say to Josh when we were walking up to Charles Schwab, I was like, this is not the hottest I've been walking up to Charles Schwab because I took my daughter to the Pink concert here last year.
You had a very famous photo on the internet. Dude, do you remember when that was?
Oh,
Pink
man. I'm sure
Omaha. I'm going to look this up. Pink
Google
Omaha 2022.
I walked into it was probably about 6:30 at night. So it was just
August 21st, 2023. Does that sound about right?
That sounds right. It was August. I didn't know.
I'm just going to look up your tweets from that day.
We walked in that it had to be a similar day, but I think there was less wind than there is right now. And we walked into the concourse and it was shoulder to shoulder all the way around from the first base to the third base line. And it was one of the most least airflow, bad smell, gross situations I've ever been in.
Here's a tweet from yours. It's not the day of the concert. I'm going to get to there eventually, but you say this is going to be the week where you're like, it's Thursday, right? On Monday at 9:30 a.m. I remember that week.
Yes,
that week was horrible.
It's worse.
The lows were 77 and the highs were mid 100s.
Yeah.
109. I don't remember it getting that hot.
It was so
that's disgusting.
It was significantly worse than this.
Well, I can't find the picture. I wonder if you posted it somewhere or did you text it to me maybe? Or
no, it was a tweet. It was a tweet because
it
was I didn't delete it. It was
somewhere
getting a lot of the Twitter search is terrible.
Well,
that thing is
it is. Okay, I found some tweets.
Okay.
From August 21st. I just got to scroll through. Wow, you guys do look really, really warm. There's got to be one of the there it is.
There it is.
Oh, you can smell it. You can smell the picture because that's the thing. Our cameras do such a good job of taking pictures. Now, part of this is probably it was in your pocket, so there was a little moisture.
Yeah, my
but you
camera
can
always
just
does that.
see that the air is thick. And that's what it's going to look like tonight.
Does it make me an old that every time I pull out my phone camera to use it, it is always smudged? I don't know.
No, it's in your pocket.
I take more
It
smudge.
makes you sweaty more than anything.
There's this dream aura around every picture that I've taken in my life because the camera's always smudged.
Real quick, look at Greg and Lincoln cropped out a woman who said this lady in the yellow hat, her face tells the story. She looks like she's having a bad time.
You can see drips of sweat on her chin.
Oh, God.
It was. So if anybody is feeling hot today at Charles Schwab, know that this isn't even the worst. In 12 months, it's not even the worst day to be here in terms of how hot it was.
Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, by the way, putting a bow on the conversation last segment about quarterbacks making it through the season without an injury. I was right about Patrick O'Brien. Now, he never started a game in 2017, but indeed he did come off the bench. Jed points out that he came in and started the second half of the Minnesota game back in 2017. He adds Tanner Lee apparently, had a migraine. I remember there being something brain-related. I thought that it was a concussion, but it was brain-related.
Okay.
He had a migraine.
Still, the point stands that there has been okay, if you want to do it by half, there has been not a season. What are you laughing at now?
No, you keep going.
I was just going to say, there maybe has been. So you may have to go back to that Tommy Armstrong season to have the same quarterback start every half.
Yes, 2014 is the last time that it's happened. And the only reason that Armstrong wouldn't have started a half was because they beat Idaho, but 70-7 or something. Didn't they beat them? Wasn't that year? Was that 2014 or was that 2013?
I will tell you here.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that game versus the Vandals? Maybe that was 2012,
vaguely.
Actually. I think that was 2012 now that I think about it.
2014, the blowouts in 2014. They played, Florida Atlantic, McNeese State. That was that.
Went down to the wire.
Fresno.
Okay, it was 2012.
Yeah, they didn't blow anybody out that year other than Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, go to 2012. I think they won 70-7 or something like that.
Yeah, Idaho is. Let's see. It's my wireless isn't the best, so it's going to take a second.
Yeah, that's right. You're not hanging out on the Zone wireless today.
No, because it won't accept my
very sad.
my computer.
Yeah. Or your computer won't accept it.
No, either way.
Do you need me to look it up so we can just get confirmation?
You can if you want to. It's spinning.
Wow.
Of course, I have like 37 windows open at the time, but
it seems like you do that a lot. That you
I got it. No, Idaho State. Yes.
Idaho
State, September 22nd, 73 to 7. 73 to 7.
What I was laughing at was this. Connor Happer just tweeted a screenshot of zonetv.live, which is a fun, handy URL that you can go to. And it is us. And he says, join Josh and Jack inside the cool confines of the Omaha Baseball Village. I can't tell if that's Dante's Inferno behind us or what warm area that we are living in. There is a fire, though. We're very hot.
Yes.
We're very toasty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Ryan
It's
McGee,
fun. Come see us.
Ryan McGee, for some reason, agreed to join us in person, and he will do so in about an hour. This hour, though, is presented by Nebraska Medicine. Join our team at nebraskamed.com/careers, and we are here at the Omaha Baseball Village and sponsored by the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, the #1 zoo in the nation. Visit omahazoo.com to plan your adventure. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell with you here. We have just over an hour left before we send you up into the booth. Kevin Kugler, Scott Graham on the call. John Bishop probably on fire somewhere on the field. I really hope that guy puts on sunscreen today.
Oh, God, there's not enough sunscreen in Omaha for him tonight.
Just dump it all over. It's like the Mayo pass.
It's like the Mayo, the Coppertone College World Series. I mean, that'd be huge.
Last game of the season coming up tonight here on 1620 The Zone.
Cubby's in the Old Market is your tailgate and baseball party headquarters. Cold beer and a full liquor department. Pop, ice, and Cubby's bottled water. Plus hot coffee and fresh and hot breakfast every morning. Cubby's Old Market, 13th and Jackson has it all for every baseball fan. Get everything for the grill from the full meat department. Chester's Chicken, Godfather's Pizza Express, hot and fresh deli food. Cubby's at the corner of 13th and Jackson. Open 24 hours. Cubby's for the very best in convenience.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
To be a part of Nebraska Medicine
Hi, welcome.
is to be a part of something extraordinary.
Nebraska Medicine, how may I help you?
Because these are the doors that open doors
How are you?
to growth and opportunity for each other and for our community.
That went really well.
For those who know that the academic experience,
You know what? I agree.
the life experience that you get here is beyond what you can get anywhere else. And that's exactly why here is where you belong. Join us at nebraskamed.com/careers. Nebraska Medicine, together extraordinary.
Curveballs belong in baseball, not your bank. When you choose Access Bank for your personal or commercial banking needs, you'll know what to expect every time. Personalized all-in-one service from experts who know banking and the Omaha Metro. Access Bank has convenient branch locations and easy online solutions. Because we're here for a reason, to make your experience a home run. Learn more at accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
Our car radio is like a rookie pitcher quitting in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and now it's the bottom of the 9th. The AC's out and the transmission's throwing wild pitches.
So I was checking out car loans from Liberty First Credit Union. Applying looks like a home run with rates as low as 4.99% APR.
It's game time.
Step up to the plate with a Liberty First Credit Union auto loan. Equal opportunity lender. 48-month term for 2022 and newer models. Credit factors apply. Rates, terms, and conditions subject to change.
What is it that people say nowadays? Oh, go let your feet touch grass. In Sarpy County, Nebraska, we agree 100%. From Fontenelle Forest in Bellevue to Schramm Park in Gretna and the miles of bike and walking trails in between. There are also great outdoor concert venues like the Astro and Falconwood, even the outfield's berm at Warner Park. That'll sure do you some good. So get outside and experience everything. Click GoSarpy.com and experience Sarpy County.
At Rotella's Italian Bakery, They put unsurpassed product quality into everything they bake. Old world skill and experience are masterfully blended with modern efficiencies to create the delicious breads, rolls, hamburger and hot dog buns, and other specialty products that have delighted their customers since 1921. Combining customer satisfaction with uncompromising quality is their goal. Rotella's Italian Bakery, a century of pride in every slice. To see the full menu of products, visit rotellasbakery.com.
Why wait for your perfect landscape when Patera can get it booked now and installed in plenty of time to enjoy this summer? Gorgeous, healthy trees and bushes, a colorful garden with a water feature, a berm, a beautiful new patio. Whatever you're imagining for curb appeal or more privacy, Patera can book your project now so you can enjoy your perfect landscape and cookouts this summer. Patera, Omaha's best. PateraLandscaping.com.
If you want a perfect landscape, call Patera.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, Nick Grimm here at the Omaha Baseball Village. 1620 The Zone is joined today by the Drug Enforcement Administration. To learn about the dangers of fentanyl or to join in the fight against drugs, visit DEA.gov. And 1620 The Zone is also joined today by Pyramid Contractors, craftsmanship at its finest. Jack, I got a text from David. He says, it's acceptable to say this weather. Only time it's acceptable to say this weather is great is when you're in a pool. I would say this, though, Jack.
That's true.
It's also acceptable if you come by the Zone booth at the bullpen inside of the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win a summer prize pack of tickets to the Henry Dorley Zoo, KC Royals tickets, and ice cream from 10 Wallies for a year, 13th and Mike Fahey. Can you imagine how good ice cream would feel on a day like today? Yes. I think that I'm going to have ice cream tonight.
That sounds good.
Doesn't it?
Sounds good. Maybe I'll hit 10 Wallies on the way home.
Oh.
That'd be all right. You know what's interesting? Sorry to sidetrack, but about going to Omaha is Omaha still has all of these restaurants that were in Lincoln of my youth.
Like
10 Wallies is one.
I didn't realize that they used to be in Lincoln.
10 Wallies was in Lincoln when, in the 80s. Where Ivanacone is in the Haymarket. So, but it's way back. Drove by the Spaghetti Works today.
Oh,
I know there was the big Spaghetti Works talk before the College World Series, but that was a Lincoln, kind of a go-to in Lincoln. That's gone out of Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
We drive by the Garden Cafe a lot of times. That was a huge Lincoln thing. Still exists in Omaha. And I know
there's a Doozies down here.
There's Doozies is another one.
I love Doozies.
It's so crazy. Like those are at least 3 of those are like significant parts of my childhood growing up restaurant experience in Lincoln. And I forget that there's an alternate universe where they still exist.
Well, they're still around. I remember
like, I'm at
Doozies a lot in college.
I might go to Doozies on the way home.
I had no idea that it was it was in Omaha until I was in college and I went there in Lincoln. And I was like, we have one in Omaha and we're really close to it.
It's so weird. It's like a throwback. I wonder how many, there's probably other ones I'm not even thinking of that were at least tried to make a go of it in Lincoln, couldn't, but still exist in Omaha. It's this weird nostalgia plane that I forgot exists.
By the way, they're closed on Mondays, so you're screwed. Yeah, sorry. Man, that kind of sounded good. And I wanted a sandwich. Jack, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Nebraska has added another player. Mekhi Nelson, he is in Lincoln. He has already began his Nebraska journey. He was another one of these players that was in Lincoln at that camp back in the beginning of June. He officially visited Nebraska a week ago yesterday, and now he's on the team. He was going to reclassify as a 2025 guy, and he was going to go to a prep academy, St. Thomas More prep school, which is in Connecticut, and instead now he's a Husker.
But they're like, forget that. We'll take you now. And he's like, I'm not going to
I ain't going nowhere.
I'm not doing that.
I will go somewhere, just not
Put
there.
me in that running back room now. Who knows?
We have been the entire Husker internet really has been opining over the last week and change about a couple of different.
What does it mean?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Personnel decisions that have happened. We saw a wide receiver move to cornerback. We have seen them bring in an actor. Who's his vice president? Jerry Lewis? Ronald Reagan, the actor? We've seen them bring in an actor to play defensive back. And now they bring in a running back. Well, I feel like this is maybe of all of them, the one that kind of perplexes me the most. I can figure out defensive back to or wide receiver to defensive back. I can figure out bringing in a guy to play defensive back. Tells me they don't trust the cornerback room. And I'm right there with handshake meme. Josh Peterson, Matt Rule, handshake meme. I am also down on the running back room, as you famously know. But does this solve that problem?
I don't know that it solves it, but I think this coaching staff probably has a bit of a phobia of legit running out of game-ready options at the running back position, right? Because you've got two guys. Listen, part of the reason that people are saying they're not confident in the running back room is because you got two guys who have got major injury situations that they're coming off of that they've got to rebound from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ramir Johnson and Irvin are both. I mean, Irvin's had all kinds of issues, and it'd be great if they could return to their peak form, but that's always a concern. Beyond that, right, your most experienced running back after that is Emmett Johnson, and at some point, I think they just want to make sure that they've got people in that room that they can turn to if they need to. Because, again, it goes back. Same thing kind of happened a little bit with running back last year that did with quarterback. You started to run
100%.
out of bodies.
Yeah, there weren't enough guys.
And so I think that's
so is this
the biggest thing right now is you've got somebody who's willing to come at this point. You've seen enough from them, right, that they're I'm sure they've done their due diligence, talked to people and those sorts of things. And, yeah, they're ready to add to that room.
So is he the Jalen Gramstad of the running back room? Like, are you expecting anything from this guy?
I don't know what I mean, what can you tell me about him?
Well, he had 1,824 rushing yards as a junior, 8.6 yards per carry, 25 touchdowns. Yeah. Now, I'll be honest. I don't know if that was last year or 2 years ago because of the whole reclassification process. I really don't understand this world of going to prep schools.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. So I'm not going to pretend. And I know there has to be one listener out there who understands exactly what all this stuff means. But does that mean that he did that a couple of years ago, or does that mean that he did that last year? So that's what I can tell you. This was a guy who thought he was going to be in high school for another year. And so that's kind of what we know about him. Not really a whole lot on him in terms of recruiting. On3 doesn't even have a grade for the guy.
Is he a kick returner?
It does not mention on here if he was something that
he
did. He did say this. He's quoted in the story from Sean Callahan, who was the first to have this yesterday. I describe myself as a dog, and Sean spelled it D-A-W-G.
Oh,
because I can run the ball.
I wonder if he asked him.
I can. That'd be great. Hey, how do I spell this?
I hate to interrupt you, but
dog,
I'm writing this as we talk.
Yeah. And he adds, because I can run the ball like a running back, but I can also line up outside or in the slot and route up your favorite corner or linebacker on any given occasion. I have the speed to take it to the house and the strength to break off defensive tackles. I feel like I bring a whole lot of versatility to the team and the offense. Sean added, by the way, he is the 46th true freshman Nebraska's added to its 2024 class, and he is already there for summer workouts. 46, man. It's a lot of new players.
There's a lot of new blood coming in there as well. Are people seeing this and being like concerned? Like, well, do they not have the confidence that I thought they would? Of course they don't have a ton of confidence.
Yeah, so I hope that when I said that it was less that and just more, it's probably a long-term play, right? This has to be a long-term play.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you find a diamond maybe at this point you take a flyer.
Take a flyer on a guy?
Maybe it is a Gramstad is a good,
That's fair.
Maybe we found something. Where else are we getting someone right now? And we have that option and it works out with the numbers at this point. Perhaps that's it. But no, to answer, if there's concern that and you know this as well as anybody because you've been saying it too, there's not. I mean, Emmett Johnson is it feels like is probably your most recently proven running back that's out there.
He was solid last year. I think that there's a ceiling. I think that there's a floor. The floor is solid. The ceiling, I don't think that it's what people want around here at the running back position, but I also don't think that the rest of that room is like awesome. It's that there's a lot of hoping that a bunch of guys coming off of injuries and glory from like years ago. Like
it's so crazy those guys are on the roster.
I know. Like Ramir Johnson. Jack, what game do you think of when you think of
Michigan?
You know what year that was? It was 2021.
I know.
It was 3 years ago.
I know.
Scott Frost was the head coach.
Those guys seem like they have been there. So I didn't think either of them would come back. I really didn't.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
so you have like
more, and there was nothing I'd love to see more. I remember Gabe Urban a little bit in that Minnesota game even. There were a couple of times where ooh, he almost flashed. Don't you remember he had a run where he was kind of shoestring tackled at the end? And he's had his flashes. It's obviously you wonder what he can do with the injury history and if that continues. But I'd love to see him go well. But every time I see the roster with them on, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's kind of a fun throwback, right? Kind of like going to the Spaghetti Works in Lincoln.
Kind of like going, wow, and it all circles back. By the way, El Scorcho writes, Garden Cafe shut down in Omaha, unfortunately.
Oh, did it?
Wow, thanks a lot, Jack. You made everyone really excited.
A year ago or two, I saw it. So, sorry. That's too bad. So that doesn't exist anywhere anymore?
I guess not. Why Not Hoiberg says, I hate the people who think winter is so bad that it means you can never complain about summer. When it's 0 degrees with negative wind chill, it's awful. That doesn't mean 100 can't suck too.
Yeah, for sure.
They both suck. It is wild to think that in the same city, you can have days where it's negative 20 and also 100.
But still.
What a weird part of the planet we live on.
Just for the record, to make clear, I am taking this 100 times out of 100 over winter cold.
Easily.
Every time.
It's not even close.
Not even even in the ballpark.
I need people to think about that moment where you are out of your car, wherever you're going.
We couldn't even be outside.
And you walk outside and the wind hits your face. And you're like, this is the worst thing I've ever felt. This is gross. That is painful, though.
This is gross, but there are people outside everywhere.
Correct.
There will be.
If it was 0 degrees right now, you know where we wouldn't be? Here.
When we had that dystopian hellscape cold blizzard thing in January,
no one was outside.
Nobody, no matter what event you've got, you're not going to have people all over.
Yeah, you weren't
the place.
like, hey, you want to go down to the park?
It's about as bad as it gets right now, and we're going to have people all over drinking, partying, shopping, having a great time.
And hopefully enjoying Zen water.
Yes.
Hydration breaks.
Zen water. There you go.
When we come back, you had a topic alert for us early in the text message about this event in general. I thought it'd be a fun discussion to have before Ryan McGee joins us at the top of the hour. Talk about tonight's final of the Men's College World Series. And again, I love talking to Ryan. Tennessee grad, what's the Tennessee group chat like on a day like yesterday, on a day like Saturday, and certainly on a day like tonight? Does he have to mute that thing? We will find out in about 15 minutes. We are about to say goodbye to the college baseball season. Coming up next, though, we will say goodbye to the 4 o'clock hour. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell hanging out here at the Omaha Baseball Village with Nick Grimm and Mark Onweiler. Peter Krenzer back in our 1620 The Zone studio, pressing buttons, turning things up, turning things down, doing an amazing job. I think we're all doing an amazing job today. Well, okay.
Me too.
Okay, that's good.
Especially
Happy
me.
handshake meme. We wrap up the 4 o'clock hour next on 1620 The Zone.
And we're back live, and what a beautiful day here at the park. Just listen to that crowd. Excitement's in the air. They've come to see the best of the best from all over the globe in what's been a fan favorite for nearly 130 years. That's right, it's all at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium, the #1 zoo in the nation. Be sure to swing by between games and check out our newly reimagined Hubbard Orangutan Forest. Plan your visit at omahazoo.com.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Going on now, save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT with approved credit, $299 doc fee due at sign. Offer expires 7/08/2024. See dealer for details.
I'm Dawn. My journey began when my internal specialist found a mass. My biggest fear was missing out on future memories. Nebraska Cancer Specialists has made it possible for me to continue to be active and to be able to spend time with my family. Together We Are Stronger means that I know that I can't do it all myself. My NCS family has allowed me to create the memories that I want to make. NebraskaCancer.com.
It's time to make a game plan for game day parking. During big events, curbside parking in Omaha has a higher event rate. So save money for peanuts and Cracker Jack by parking in a garage or surface lot. You can even reserve an off-street parking space days, hours, or minutes in advance with the Park mobile app. Learn more about where to park and how to pay at parkomaha.com.
Attention sports and entertainment fans, Tickets for Less is your home for all your ticket needs. Don't miss out on the excitement of Omaha with great ticket options with no fees from Tickets for Less. Plus, did you know TFL has more to offer? Tickets for Less also has the best selection of tickets for Husker football games, the top concerts, and so much more, all with no added service fees at checkout. Shop for your seats now at ticketsforless.com or call today at 402-398-1999 and save big on your next ticket order today with promo code THEZONE at checkout.
Upgrade your hydration this summer with Zen Water. Ultra pure, refreshing alkaline water. Zen Water transforms you with every quenching sip. Vapor distilled for ultra purity with the perfect blend of electrolytes added for taste. Zen Water is pure, elevated water. To learn more, visit zenwater.com. ZENWTR.com. And stop by your local retailer to find your Zen today.
An estimated 80% of Americans aren't getting their recommended daily amount of physical activity. It's time to move and keep moving, America. And when you need help, physical therapists and physical therapist assistants are by your side. Be your own champion. Choose more movement. Choose better health. Choose physical therapy. Find out more information and a physical therapist at choosept.com/NE. Brought to you by the American Physical Therapy Association of Nebraska.
At Rotella's Italian Bakery, they put unsurpassed product quality into everything they bake. Old world skill and experience are masterfully blended with modern efficiencies to create the delicious breads, rolls, hamburger and hot dog buns, and other specialty products that have delighted their customers since 1921. Combining customer satisfaction with uncompromising quality is their goal. Rotella's Italian Bakery, a century of pride in every slice. To see the full menu of products, visit rotellasbakery.com.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell with you. 1620 The Zone is joined today by Pyramid Contractors, craftsmanship at its finest. And 1620 The Zone is joined today by the Drug Enforcement Administration. To learn about the dangers of fentanyl or to join in the fight against drugs, visit DEA.gov. And a reminder that you can come by the Zone booth inside of the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from 10 Wally's. 10 Wally's, official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating more than 35 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson and the Old Market, Omaha. It seems as though I have upset Matt just a touch.
Oh, no.
2 emails back to back. I'll read the second one first because I think it actually flows better. He says, so this NAIA kid can't compete. And I think there was supposed to be a question mark there. And then he adds, so, okay, it isn't okay to have a quarterback or running back from non-5-star status. You are deciding these non-4 or 5-star guys. I don't know what that means. So how many stars did Rex Burkhead or Danny Woodhead have? Why did Kurt Warner or Easton Stick play at lower levels? For the record, Rex Burkhead was a 4-star. That guy was awesome in high school. He was at Texas. I am not saying, did I ever say, Jack, today, that I thought it was a bad idea to take Jalen Gramstad and add him to the roster?
No, I don't think. I mean, you did say, and I said too, that I don't think he's going to be challenging for the starting spot.
No,
and I don't. I mean,
but I
don't think
that doesn't have to be bad.
But I'm not sure that. But I wouldn't rule out that he could, given where the quarterback's room has been. I don't think either of us would rule him out being in the mix to be somebody that gets time if they would need a second quarterback, right?
Sure.
We never ruled that out, did you?
Look, I don't think that he is going to do that. I could be wrong, though.
But you wouldn't rule out the possibility.
I never would. It's hard to rule out anything, right, with the state of Nebraska football these days.
Right. And then I guess, is this running back enough of kind of like a plucky underdog to even have that narrative?
Yeah, I don't even know. That's why I was asking legitimate questions that segment, because I just don't know what to do with this player.
I did not think of him like a Danny Woodhead type. That's for sure. If he's going to a prep school now, Yeah,
it's a guy who I think it's the more interesting part about him is he reclassified and he was going to play high school football for another year, and now he's going to come and play college football.
Right.
So I'm just like, what's the angle there? I get the angle of the Gramstad stuff, but look, I am also a believer, and if you want to disagree with me on this, that's totally fine. There's a reason that guys are at the lower levels, and do people slip through the cracks? Of course they do. Kurt Warner, excellent example. Easton Stick, excellent example. Rex Burkhead, not excellent example, because again, he was a 4-star. But those guys, Danny Woodhead, those are perfect examples. I think Danny Woodhead, though, if he would have come to Nebraska out of high school, his career nowhere turns out like it did. He needed those reps, in my opinion. Him going to the lower levels ended up being a positive for him. And look, maybe we say the same thing about Gramstad. At the end, he got all these reps. He played at a very high level at the NAIA level. He jumps up, and maybe he is what emailers like Matt or others want him to be. I am just not going to bet on that happening because it doesn't happen.
And the other thing is that the Nelson comparison is it's nothing. Gramstad and the Nelson thing are such.
Yeah, it was just more. It's interesting that they're adding a
wildly different situations.
I wanted to take this more from the angle of the depth, like the defensive back stuff, more than I wanted to compare this to Gramstad.
I mean, yes, for sure. That's I understand what you meant, but yes, comparing there, I see why he's referencing that because we said the reason you take him.
And I did jokingly say, is he the Gramstad of the running back?
Right, but he is. I mean, listen, he's got other college offers, right? He's a 3-star recruit. He's showing up on the recruiting services. He's a top 10 player in the state.
He was supposed to be in high school for another year. That's the weird part about this situation.
And who knows what would have happened with that? And he was going to a prep school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, listen, I don't think either of us on him, especially, are saying we know anything about what his potential to play. I mean, he's comparable to other running back recruits. He's not some plucky underdog, though. That's not how
people love underdog type stories. Like the one that I always think of is, going into Adrian Martinez's first year, there was a player on that roster that some will remember named Andrew Bunch, and there were some who got there was a listener in particular who got like legitimately mad at me because I would not give him a chance to start over Adrian Martinez. And guess what? He didn't start over Adrian Martinez. He started a game because Adrian got hurt. But otherwise, like I think that people, and I get it, you see maybe yourself and some of these guys, maybe you thought that you got a raw shake. Maybe you still think you get a raw shake at your job. And so you want to believe in the really cool story. And Gramstad, that's the thing, man. It's not just that he's an underdog and that he's like from a literal lower level. But I know one of the things that you loved about this from the instant you read about him, he hates Iowa. He grew up in Iowa. Yes. Always hated Iowa. That's fun, right? Especially in this era where everyone's friends across like every team, pro or college, to have this guy come in and be like, I already hate that school that you guys all hate too. I get why people want him to be good, but
sure,
I'm sorry.
I definitely do. I want it to work out. Badly. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
But not for the reasons that are the same.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't have time because of this discussion to get into the College World Series of it all, but Ryan McGee is going to join us in a few minutes. You said something to me, though, either yesterday or today, just how unique this event is, where, like you'll have the Olympics and they'll be in a city, but of course that's going to be spread out. The World Cup is going to be in a country, but that's going to be spread out among states. You'll have tennis tournaments where they're in one singular location with a few smaller stadiums. But in terms of like an event that lasts this long, that is in one location and one location only, with the number of teams, it's pretty crazy to think about the person who got into town before game 1 10 days ago and is still in Omaha today and hasn't left.
It's a remarkably, unprecedentedly long event in one
really
spot. And I say that, not in a negative way whatsoever. This is why this is so valuable to the city. I mean, the economic impact because of the length of it is just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous the amount of money that people spend here and especially the people who are here for long portions of this whole thing. It's crazy to think about because it really isn't a comparison other than like, women's College World Series in softball.
Yep.
Maybe.
And so it's like the same.
That's about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like it really in sports.
It really is wild. So we can talk about that and some other stuff with Ryan when we return as his alma mater, the Tennessee Volunteers, aiming for their first ever national championship in baseball. You were looking at some team sports stuff earlier. Be a first starter for this program in a while. Same thing with Texas A&M. There's a lot on the line. Cannot wait to talk about that with Ryan McGee, and he will join us when we return. Come by the booth at the bullpen inside of the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win a summer prize pack of tickets to the Henry Dorley Zoo, KC Royals tickets, and ice cream from Ted Wally's 4-year 13th and Mike Fahey. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, Nick Grimm, Mark Onweiler here as well. Peter Krenzer back in our zone studio. Ryan McGee joins us when we return. We'll preview the final game of the baseball season next on 1620 The Zone.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistance, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
The time between Memorial Day and Labor Day is known as the 100 deadliest days. Students are off for the summer, people are taking vacations, and the days are longer. It's a recipe for good times and long-lasting memories. Sadly, it accounts for 37% of Nebraska's traffic fatalities. Someone's waiting for you at a ball game, a party, or a wedding. Don't let a crash keep you away. Focus on driving. Brought to you by the Nebraska chapter of the National Safety Council and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
He thinks bean counting is an iPhone app. He is the most uninteresting man in the world.
Hi, I'm Bob Berger. Don't just get your taxes done, get them managed. If you're tired of losing sleep over your business and personal taxes, you're ready to make more money, give us a call.
Call Berger, Elliott, and Pritchard CPAs at 402-551-1919 or visit depcpa.com.
Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha frequently conducts clinical trials for a broad range of investigational treatments. Velocity is currently seeking participants to wear a Fitbit watch for 31 days with compensation of up to $200. Some other current studies include low T, COPD, flu, pediatric, infant, and RSV. They also perform vaccine studies for people of all ages. See current trials at velocityclinicaltrials.com, compensation for study-related time and travel, and find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Your home for the Men's College World Series is 1620 The Zone. KOC and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. Sponsored by Lanaha Nurseries, 192nd and Center. 1620 The Zone is live at the Omaha Baseball Village. Powered by Access Bank. Here for a reason, yours and Children's Nebraska. Here are your hosts for today's broadcast. On 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson and Jack Mitchell back at the Omaha Baseball Village. We have 45 minutes left in today's show, and then we will send you to Kevin Kugler, Scott Graham, John Bishop for pregame of Texas A&M and Tennessee. But right now we are so happy to welcome here to the OBV. I believe 4th year in a row we've had him, maybe more than that. Ryan McGee, ESPN.com. Ryan, as always, we appreciate the time. How are you?
Yeah, it's at least the 4th year in a row here, but I feel like whenever we go to game 3, I know I've talked to you guys from my hotel room. I've talked to you from the press box. So yeah, our relationship goes back to 2009.
Yeah, it goes back quite a few years. Before we get to the game itself, I always love asking you about the Tennessee group chat that I know that you are in. What's that thing been like, especially given that you are working while you're here? Do you have to mute that thing?
Yeah, well, it's my college roommates. There's 4 of them. And, when I was in school 30 years ago, we had Todd Helton as a freshman, and we would go to games, and there'd be 200 people there. And the stadium, Lindsey Nelson Stadium, wasn't great. But to see what it's become now, that's the conversation we're having. It's kind of back in the day, right? But I've told those guys, listen, when the game starts, y'all got to take me out of this group chat. But if you wait about an hour and a half after the game, I'll chat all night. But I got to work.
Yeah.
And also I have to, I am an impartial member of the media.
Yep.
Now I will say this: I was just talking to some Tennessee people a minute ago. I do have a silicone Tennessee ring in my pocket that I will stealthily put on like later. So I was talking to David DeLucci about this. DeLucci played at Ole Miss. He works with us at SEC Network. And when Ole Miss won this a couple years ago, DeLucci played it right down the middle. Impartial member of the media did a great job. And that night, he was hotty-totty until we went to bed and barely missed our flight. And so, if Tennessee were to win, that'd be. But I'll say this: Jim Schlossnagle is one of my favorite people on planet Earth. So I'm not. It's a no lose, personally, because it's a great story out of the way. But yes, my life would be a lot easier with my Knoxville born and raised wife and all my in-laws.
Oh yeah,
it's interesting to hear you set up that the 200 people at a game back in the day. Really not long. Let's not age us too much. But like. I have this perception, that all these SEC teams are just like deep blue bloods for years, and that's not right, huh?
Back in the day, it was LSU and Mississippi State. That was it. I mean, and they were here all the time because they were dedicated to baseball. And Ron Polk, the coach of Mississippi State, and of course Skip Bertman, the coach at LSU, they worked at the University of Miami. They learned from Ron Fraser, the master. So when they got hired, and so they just kind of did their thing. And you guys know, I mean, when I was growing up, this was a West Coast event.
That's true. Yeah. Arizona State, USC. Yep.
You might have one or two SEC schools at the most. Alabama might make it here every now and then, or Georgia might make it every. That was kind of it.
Yeah.
And so, but LSU was every year. Mississippi State was here a lot. That was it. Now, to their credit, the SEC schools. I grew up on Tobacco Road in North Carolina, and the ACC schools, North Carolina and Clemson, they were all way ahead of the SEC. And so, but now Kentucky built a $49 million baseball ballpark. They did it 5 years ago. They'd never been here, never been to Omaha, and now they were here.
Yeah, what changed? Because it seems like you guys have been here forever, but you haven't.
Last 15 years. That's really kind of it.
Yeah.
But now everyone in the conference, for the month, I think everyone in the conference has been here at least once. I don't think Missouri's been here as a member of the SEC, but Kentucky was kind of the last one. And so, so it's crazy. But yeah, there is this perception that it's like that. But the reality is, this was a Texas, Arizona State, Southern California, up to Stanford. They own this place, and that's not the case anymore.
Ryan, I'm going to hand you my microphone after I ask you this question, just because that one struggled a little bit. But you wrote yesterday after Game 2, Tennessee comes back and wins that one. You said diamonds are created using pressure, tension, and heat. I wonder where you think that pressure, tension, and heat is going to show itself tonight between these two teams.
I think it's going to show early and often. And I think that, where we're going to see it is, and both coaches have said, I wrote this. I've been voicing the opens for ESPN for the television coverage. And what I wrote for tonight was, tonight the 12th man is every man. They're going to empty the roster. And everybody's kind of available. And the same for Tennessee. And so I think you're going to feel it a lot. That was the thing was, I was doing McAfee's show earlier today, and he was like, well, that game last night, like that. No. It was so tense in that stadium. It was almost quiet, and I appreciated reading the story because I wrote that. And I think it was going to be really loud. It's going to be raucous. But if that thing is 1-0 again, heading into the middle of the game like it was last night, it's going to. I mean, everyone's underwear is going to look about 6 sizes too small, right? But the question is, who can handle that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Tennessee sometimes doesn't handle those things that well, and Schlossnagle does. So we'll see.
I'm looking at these schools, and we pulled up before the show started. Josh and I were looking at national championships by sport for the two schools tonight to kind of see what's happening. Like, you got to go to both have a women's basketball championship about 15 years ago, right? You got track and field stuff.
Right.
Like, again,
individual stuff.
You got some fan bases that are intense fan bases that haven't celebrated a lot of national championships.
Yeah, that's what I wrote, Friday leading into the series, which is, and A&M fans hate me because I say this all the time, but it's also true. We think of them as a football school, right? 12th man and Kyle Field and all the Yale leaders and also the only national championship they won in football, 1939, number one movie at the box office was Gone with the Wind. And they get so mad when I say that, but in Tennessee, Tennessee's last national championship football was 1998. The one before that was in the 50s with General Neyland, who, by the way, Robert Neyland played baseball at A&M for a year, baseball and football. Then he went to Army, and then, of course, became the greatest coach in the history of Tennessee.
A&M. Yeah, wow.
So it's crazy. But, the only time these two schools were in this series at the same time was 1951. That's crazy because both those states have tremendous youth baseball programs.
Yes.
And both those universities have
thinking.
so much money, but they leave. If you are a great Tennessee high school baseball player. It was a huge deal when Todd Helton stayed and went to Tennessee. And honestly, he wanted to go to the Padres, but his dad wanted to go to Tennessee. And so it's just you leave. You would go to Clemson, or you'd go to you go to LSU. You go to these other places. And so it was and if you're Texas A&M, all the talent went to Austin. So for them, someone is going to be there's going to be a stress release tonight for one of these programs that's almost immeasurable, and it's not just about baseball.
Yeah, and Ryan, I wanted to ask you about that. Ryan McGee, ESPN.com, joining us right now. Like, what a fascinating time in college sports history right now, but especially the SEC, right? Like, A&M is about to get their most hated rival back in the league, and that's going to show itself in the football season right after Thanksgiving, and that's going to be pretty wild. Tennessee, when you look at their athletic department and where they sit right now, seems like it's on the rise. And so, like, I wonder just how these programs are feeling about themselves at this particular moment with the SEC doing what it's about to do when the calendar year turns from 23-24 to 24-25.
Yeah, I mean, Texas and Oklahoma join January or July 1st. I mean, that's when it becomes official. And they've already, Greg Sankey, commissioner of the SEC, was here. He's been here for the whole championship series, as he always is, because he's always got a school in it, at least one. And he was telling me, it becomes official July 1st. But, the reps from Texas and Oklahoma have been in the meetings now for a couple of years. I mean, ever since it became, the news broke from Houston. So it is everybody's feeling good. I mean, I think if you're in the SEC, I worry about the Big Ten getting too big. I go back to a conversation. I did a story for ESPN the magazine in 2012. And, Roy Kramer, who was commissioner of the SEC, who invented the 12-team league, invented 2 divisions, who invented the conference championship game, who invented the BCS. And he told me in 2012, if you have more than 16, it's too much. You can't sustain it. And now we're talking about conferences with 20 and 22. And if we go to this AFC, NFC model, 30 teams, I worry about that. I don't like it looking like the NFL. I'm not an NFL guy. I like for college to look like college. I like for NFL to look like NFL. So that's a real long way of saying if you are a member of the Big Ten and you are a member of the SEC, you're feeling great. I live in North Carolina. ACC is walking on eggshells right now. I don't want them to go away. I think the world's better with a lot of conferences. I don't like the Pac-12 being gone. But if you're the SEC, they feel like they have the brands. They have one corner of the map. They're not spread coast to coast or north to south. They have one corner of the map. They feel like they've locked down that corner of the map. They have rivalries. They're regional. They're also national, and they feel like they have the right number. Now, we'll see how long that lasts because, as we all know, it probably won't last long.
With your long history with College World Series, I'm kind of curious about your just thoughts about the event. We get 95% of what we get is local perspectives on the event, right?
Yep.
A lot of Rosenblatt nostalgia, obviously. It was part of all our childhood.
No, I'm the king of Rosenblatt. I take my editor has never been here before, Kim Brunson, and she's our college baseball editor. And as soon as she landed, I go, all right, there's no games today. Come on. And we went and saw Piv.
Yep.
And we went over to Rosenblatt, and I made her take a picture and sit in the seats. That's the Ryan McGee Rosenblatt tour.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the current iteration of this event? It's not the same. It's not going to be the same. But I've got a feeling just from reading the things you've said about it before, there's still something magical about it. What is that now? How do you define the current iteration of the College World Series?
This right here has grown into what we wanted it to, right? And the problem with where we are now with the Chuck or what we're TD, whatever we're calling it, 13 years ago, it's hard to believe it's been 13 years.
Yes.
Is that, it just kind of sit in the parking lot and there wasn't anything here. Now, I used to laugh about the fact that no one knew downtown was here because of Rosenblatt. Everybody went to Starkey's and whatever else. They didn't come downtown. Now downtown is crazy and in a great way, but it's also chill. My favorite sporting events are the ones that you can't imagine that event without that city or that city without that event. And it's the Masters in Augusta. It's the Indianapolis 500. It's the Kentucky Derby in Louisville. It's the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. You can't imagine if the Super Bowl wants to move around and the playoff wants to move around, USO wants to be great, but this is where it's supposed to be. And I this is homecoming for me, man. But I think it's interesting. It's like when you got your one cousin's kid that you only see at Christmas and you only see them once a year and you see how much bigger and more mature they are and their parents don't see it. When I come every year, I see how it's grown up and I see how it's grown in, quite frankly. And so it just feels good now. That first 5-6 years, it kind of felt a little bit like an NCAA committee meeting. And to me, it doesn't feel that way anymore.
It's a great way to describe it. Ryan McGee, ESPN.com. You can read his gamer after this one tonight as a national champion will be crowned. Have the mute chat the group chat muted. Enjoy the baseball and get cold. Thank you for stopping by here. Mitch Sherman, he did a phoner today, so we appreciate you joining us in person.
That's weak, man.
I know.
Mitch lives like Mitch is like 5.
Exactly.
His kid like goes to school over here.
Exactly.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So all right. So hey, that's how much I love it.
Yeah.
I'm sweating my butt off. I'm sitting here talking to you guys.
We appreciate it, Ryan. Looking
Absolutely.
forward to doing it again a year from now. That's Ryan McGee from ESPN.com. We will come back. More to come. We'll get an injury report, a weather report, traffic report as we count down to the national championship of college baseball. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell with you here on 1620 The Zone.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Car, the home of the roofery.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more DaVinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Car, the home of the roofery. Make the right call.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
We're excited to announce the grand opening of Saul's Jewelry and Loan's new downtown location. It's a Saul's shopping experience like you've never seen in this beautiful, historic location. And of course, we brought in tons of new inventory, amazing jewelry finds at our famous best in town prices, motorcycles, tools, bikes, guitars. And as always, get a cash on the spot loan from $10,000 to $50,000. Everything you've come to expect from Saul's in our new location. 22nd and Harney, downtown Omaha, Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Take me out to the Rib Shack.
Take me out with the crowd.
Buy me some ribs, brisket, and some mac.
I don't care if I never get back. Let me eat at the Rib Shack.
In every bite, there's a win. For it's 1, 2, 3 slabs you're in at the old Rib Shack.
Rib Shack Smokehouse, 108th and Q.
Upgrade your hydration this summer with Zen Water. Ultra pure, refreshing alkaline water. Zen Water transforms you with every quenching sip. Vapor distilled for ultra purity with the perfect blend of electrolytes added for taste. Zen Water is pure, elevated water. To learn more, visit zenwater.com. ZENWTR.com. And stop by your local retailer to find your Zen today.
You don't have to wait for your perfect landscape. Patera Landscaping can book your project now and have it beautifully installed in time to enjoy this July and August for cookouts and get-togethers. Trees, bushes, colorful gardens, water features, patios, outdoor kitchens. Patera Landscaping can do it all. Call today and have your perfect landscape this summer. Patera voted Omaha's best. PateraLandscaping.com.
If you want a perfect landscape, call Patera.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are promises to honor, work that needs to be done, friendships to enjoy, and people that count on each other. These are the things that tie our communities together. They always have, and they always will. Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different.
At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson and Jack Mitchell with you from the Omaha Baseball Village. I just got a text, Jack, from my mom, and she says, is it unbearable down there in terms of the heat? We're about to get the weather report from Mr. Nick Grimm. It feels like a furnace. The wind hits your face, and it feels like a furnace.
Yeah, it's just honestly, I feel like moving around would almost be better than sitting in it, but it's not great. Now, Tennessee is going tonight, by the way. Speaking of the weather, they're going with their black uniforms, or the black tops at least.
Not great.
And so, but I think they had success with them yesterday, and there was a lot more sun, at least out there. They're going to play during a longer part of the day with sun yesterday than they did today. So we'll see how that works out for them. But I would not be choosing that if I had the option.
No, speaking of, let's send it over to Nick Grimm, who will give us both a weather and a traffic report as people make their way on down to the last game of the season.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
The weather update powered by the winning team at Liberty First Credit Union, supporting their communities and providing banking with purpose. It's humid.
Yeah.
It's hot outside. It's very, very hot outside. There's a very, very slight chance, potentially like 20%.
Uh-oh.
Maybe storms between like 5 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Uh-oh.
But as we've gotten a little farther in the day, it's just really sticky and wet outside.
Nice.
Obviously, we're in a heat advisory and a flood warning. Just letting people know. There's a flood warning for the next week. That is your weather update powered by the winning team at Liberty First Credit Union, supporting their communities and providing banking with purpose. Traffic presented by Park Omaha. Make a game plan for your parking. Reserve a downtown parking space in advance at parkomaha.com. It's about what you would expect for Game 3 of the championship series. Basically, every main road around here, it's either very full or it's got some slight traffic. Of course, over by Charles Schwab, Cummings Street eastbound, Cass Street, that whole area, it is, if you're going to come, you leave now. Or I hope you've already left.
Yes, I would hope so too, Nick, since the game is under an hour away.
The game is under an hour away.
Yeah, famously.
People forget.
Yeah, indeed.
That was your traffic presented by Park Omaha. Make a game plan for your parking. Reserve a downtown parking space in advance at parkomaha.com.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick Grimm, for all of that. We'll have an injury report in our last segment of the show today, getting you ready for this one between these two teams. Should be interesting, Mr. Jack Mitchell, to see who is crowned the national champ. Do you have an obvious rooting interest? Is it Tennessee? Do I dare even ask the question?
I probably am. I'm probably in there. It was fascinating, though, to hear Ryan talk about. I don't want to oversell the thing that I said over and over again, but it's like I look at both these baseball programs and these schools with kind of a lens that is short-sighted a little bit, because they feel. Do you get what I'm saying, Josh? Like they feel like blue bloods in the sport. They feel like,
and yet they're kind of new money in a way.
They're new money, and even in the entire college football, when we were going back in terms of national championships that have been won, they haven't had Tennessee has,
correct,
but it's been a long time.
98 for Tennessee,
like Nebraska, right?
1939 for Texas A&M,
and they both got women's basketball national championships,
and then some individual type stuff.
But I mean, think about it's not unlike if Nebraska was playing for a national championship in a sport.
Yeah, the only difference, of course, and I thought the way that you asked Ryan the question, I thought it was good, but basically it's just like, what changed? When he was growing up, when you were growing up, when I was even growing up, this was like, and I know the ACC always struggled, right? Like they famously have one or two national championships in the entire history of the event. But when I was a kid, when you were a kid, it was a lot of West Coast, lot of West Coast that made its way to Omaha. And you'd have the Midwest schools Creighton and Wichita State have a famous game from the early 90s. Obviously, we know about Nebraska. Even Michigan had success in the 80s, and they just made the national championship series a couple of years ago, 5 years ago now to be exact. But it's like it has gotten so Southern dominated that what you said, or so SEC dominated, that this matchup feels like something we have seen before, or at the very least we could see a lot. And it doesn't ever happen. These two teams have not won a national championship ever combined.
Right. It's partially because the baseball culture in those state, high school baseball, which he talked about, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Huge, but they were going other places. But again, you think of them as very baseball photograph. But I thought it was cool. I mean, I thought it was cool to even think about it this way, because sometimes you start seeing the same teams in, I'm not even necessarily talking about the College World Series, but you're like, Kansas wins a national basketball championship or NCAA basketball championship, right? Or name your blue blood in any sport winning something, and you're like, man, does that even, register the same way it would? But somebody is going to be celebrating like they have not celebrated in, decades in sports.
Yeah, and if you're a diehard baseball fan of either of these programs, like, I think a lot of people with these two schools too, like, you probably have a lot of sidewalk fans who are like, oh, hey, they're good, they're on a run, I'll hop on. Now, Tennessee has been on the doorstep the last few years. They finally have broken through all the way to this moment in time, but they had that great team a couple of years ago. But there are diehard baseball fans of both of these schools. One of them is going to have the finest moment of their entire fandom, and one is going to have like the worst moment of their entire lives in terms of being a fan of that school. And like, that's cool that there's all that pressure on this exact moment in time. And I do wonder, and we did this at the start of the series when it was the 4 ACC, 4 SEC. We do continue to wonder about just the way that the sports are and where college athletics are going. Like, is this a preview? Is this just a one-off? I don't know. I don't have any of the answers, but quite the culmination to just a really interesting year for the event, given that it was ACC versus SEC.
The interesting question is, as he said and explained really well, it didn't start like this. And anybody in Omaha who followed College World Series knows it wasn't always like this. But question is it going to stay like this now? And
and does that, here's a question for you. I don't remember who it was that I unpacked this with. Does that matter if this is what it is? Like, you and I would both agree. If college football continued down this path, and remember that stretch where it was Bama, Clemson, it seemed like every year, and it was like, this is horrible. It's one part of the country always winning, and it was like an existential crisis for the sport. Now you've had some non-SEC teams win, and everything is okay again. Does it matter for this sport? Like, are we
for this event? No.
Exactly. Isn't that fascinating?
No, it's better to have
exactly. It's actually better to not have any Cinderellas.
It's more fun to be here, right?
When this is the kind of collection of teams.
Then, like if somebody East Carolina would have made it in, or they weren't even that big of an underdog.
But if it was like Michigan, Ohio State, if it was like that type of,
Yeah, well, that might have been a little fun too, because there would have been. But yeah, pick another semi underdog that could have been here. That's outside of the SEC.
Yeah, like think about it. LSU makes a series and it's like, this is going to be the best series again.
If Indiana State would have went on the run,
story,
good story, but it's kind of like when you're watching the Final Four in the NCAA.
Yeah, you're like, oh, why are they there?
First few rounds, it's awesome, and then all of a sudden you turn on your TV and George Mason is in the Final Four and they're losing.
I don't want San Diego State in the title game. I don't want this.
Right.
I want the good programs.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bias that we have. But yeah, I think you're right. For this event, it's not going to – this is actually better.
You make a great point, though. Watching college football from the outside, it sucked.
Yeah.
Being at the event, it's better.
Yeah, because you don't feel like – if you're – I mean, especially for us in the Midwest, if you watch college football, you feel like there are years go by where you don't feel like you're a part of the sport at the highest echelon. You watch college baseball, and you're not, but you know that. It's like, okay.
Right.
Meanwhile, Michigan, Ohio State have won football natties in the last decade. So it's like, all right, you can do it in this part of the country.
On the other hand, the baseball tournament is wider. There are more teams in it. There are more teams in the College World Series. Football has done that too now. So
yeah, they have indeed. Going up to 12. 1620 The Zone is joined today by Pyramid Contractors, craftsmanship at its finest. And 1620 The Zone is joined today by the Drug Enforcement Administration. To learn about the dangers of fentanyl or to join in the fight against drugs, visit DEA.gov. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have the injury report. We will pick what's going to happen. Oh, Nick, I just realized we never got to content today, which I had typed up. I spent many minutes on content. I guess we could blow through a couple of those questions real fast and then say, see you later. We'll pick the game tonight. We'll pick the Stanley Cup final tonight as well. Talk about who we're rooting for, all those things.
Okay.
When we return Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell, Nick Grimm here at the Omaha Baseball Village. You can shout out Ryan McGee for stopping by. We really appreciated it. Peter Krenzer back in our zone studios. We will come back and we will say, see you later for 2024 from the Men's College World Series, at least OBV edition, because there's still a baseball game to be played tonight. That coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry, you can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style. And they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
Our car radio is like a rookie pitcher quitting in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and now it's the bottom of the 9th. The AC's out and the transmission's throwing wild pitches.
So I was checking out car loans from Liberty First Credit Union. Applying looks like a home run with rates as low as 4.99% APR.
It's game time.
Step up to the plate with a Liberty First Credit Union auto loan. Equal opportunity lender. 48-month term for 2022 and newer models. Credit factors apply. Rates, terms, and conditions subject to change.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Going on now, save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT with approved credit, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 7/08/2024. See dealer for details.
Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha frequently conducts clinical trials for a broad range of investigational treatments. Velocity is currently seeking participants to wear a Fitbit watch for 31 days with compensation of up to $200. Some other current studies includes low T, COPD, flu, pediatric, infant, and RSV. They also perform vaccine studies for people of all ages. See current trials at velocityclinicaltrials.com, compensation for study-related time and travel, and find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
Twisted Thunder Fireworks is going to save you big money. You'll find the best variety and the lowest prices in the entire state of Nebraska. Don't believe us? See page after page of products and pricing online at twistedthunder.com, where you can watch everything before you buy and choose local pickup so it's ready to go for you at the tent. Go to twistedthunder.com to check out all of our locations in Nebraska as well as our location in Council Bluffs. That's twistedthunder.com.
After an injury, it pays to have an advocate on your team. The advocates are skilled personal injury attorneys committed to helping injured Nebraskans get their lives back. They'll put together a game plan, negotiate with insurance companies, and put your best interests first. Consultations with an attorney are always 100% free. Contact their Omaha office today at nebraskaadvocates.com. You deserve an attorney who will step up to the plate. You deserve an advocate.
Security equipment makes sure you're always safe at home. SEI gives you time to focus on what really matters. Whether it's your home or business, we protect life and property with all the latest Honeywell home and First Alert products by monitoring for security, fire, carbon monoxide, flood, and temperature. 24/7, 365. We provide peace of mind by connecting services like security, video, and automation in one system. Visit SEIsecurity.com to set up a free consultation. SEI is a First Alert Pro Residio Premier Partner.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
To be a part of Nebraska Medicine
Hi, welcome.
is to be a part of something extraordinary.
Nebraska Medicine, how may I help you?
Because these are the doors that open doors.
How are you?
To growth and opportunity, to advancement and impact, to extraordinary teamwork.
That went really well.
Together for each other and for our community. Because within the doors of Nebraska Medicine,
Good to see you.
we welcome your curiosity, value your voice,
Dr. Richards, what do you think?
And partner with you to chart your path to do the extraordinary. Together.
You got this.
This is our commitment we never take for granted. Because when you open the doors
Let me get that.
to Nebraska medicine, you open yourself to an academic experience, a life experience, an extraordinary team experience beyond what you can get anywhere else. And that's exactly why here is where you belong.
Ready?
Nebraska Medicine. Together, extraordinary. Join us at nebraskamed.com/careers.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is West Omaha's headquarters for specialty pizzas and award-winning char-buffed wings. Enjoy games on their updated video and audio system and huge LED wall. Their main location on 173rd and Center is the perfect place to beat the heat with family and friends for the college baseball tournament. They also have a second carry-out location at 162nd and West Maple Street, featuring the same great pizzas and wings. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, home of the Big O Pizza and award-winning char-buffed wings.
Now back to the Men's College World Series special live from Omaha Baseball Village, powered by Children's Nebraska and Access Bank on 1620 The Zone.
The youths have a lot of problems, say Jack Mitchell. Josh Peterson, Jack Mitchell with you at the Omaha Baseball Village. It is cleared out, man. People are ready for some ball. People are ready for some ball. It's time. All right, time to take a look at the injury report. Prevented by the Advocates, your personal injury attorneys, experienced, trusted, local. With the Advocates, you are never alone. Theadvocates.com. All right, so there are the injuries that both of these teams entered the final series with that they've been dealing with for, in some cases a few weeks now. Couple of recent ones, though. Christian Moore, who left the game yesterday. Now, this was in the 9th inning, but he said that he will be ready to go. A little banged up, but I will be good to go tomorrow. This is what he said yesterday, so we're expecting that he will play. Obviously, keep an eye on Jace Laviolette. He has been dealing with the hamstring throughout the majority of the College World Series. He's been doing an awesome job at getting on base. He hit a home run at the start of yesterday's game, but out in right field, just a little slow at times, Jack.
Shouldn't have a problem getting it warm, at least.
No, great point, Jack. It's a good thing the College World Series isn't being played in 10-degree
Right, that'd be a lot
weather.
more of a big issue with a hamstring.
It really would. That was the injury report presented by the Advocates, your personal injury attorneys, experienced, trusted, local. With the Advocates, you are never alone. Theadvocates.com. All right, we have about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
We normally do this earlier, though I guess we actually do kind of do it at this exact time every single day. Let's get to some content. Hopefully the microphone is better with Nick Grimm.
Hello, is it better?
I don't know. We'll find out.
A little bit.
There are now 68 days to go until Nebraska's season begins. The college football season is only 61 days away. It's July in a week. Is it officially time to count down?
Oh, Jack, this is you and my season. You're so excited.
I hit my bill
knocking
of my cap
microphones.
on the mic.
It is
100 after today, after the College World Series and the NHL ends.
We're counting, baby.
We're here. What else you got? What else is there to look?
What else are we to do,
What
Nick?
else are we counting down to the Olympics? I mean,
Yeah, no. Oh, man, the Olympics are 30 days. No, I mean, I'm excited.
Formula
I'm not.
One.
No, Nick, you don't even like
don't
Formula
they have
One
those
anymore.
every week like a golf tournament?
Yeah,
Not every
exactly.
week.
It's every other week.
Sometimes it's every
You
other.
can't count
Like a
down to
UFC?
something every other week.
Yes.
Just like in football season. Once football starts, you can't count down to the next
6
weekend.
more days.
Yeah, no, it's already there. You're already living in that world.
Jack,
Yes.
what the hell is happening with the Royals?
Oh,
Dude, what's up with the Royals?
You know what?
What?
Here's what's happening. The universe doesn't want me to get away that easily. It doesn't want me to say, hey, it's Memorial Day. I'm emotionally disconnected for this. I'm going to start counting down football with Josh this summer. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start. Instead, it wants me to start to get those emotional claws right into something and start to feel a connection with it. And just so they can rip everything away from me that I ever wanted. And so I think that's probably kind of what's happening. In addition to they've got nobody that can hit in their outfield.
Yeah, that's not good
or a
when
bullpen that can miss bats.
when you keep losing to the A's. Like, that's not a good thing.
Marlins tonight, sweep them, get back on the right.
They won last
street.
night?
No, they play them tonight.
Okay.
It's a 3-game series with the Marlins.
Oh, that's right. It's Monday.
And then
wow,
Mike-
I've already forgotten what day it is again.
Yeah.
At least they're not the Rockies, Jack.
At least they're not the Rockies.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking
They
of
were last year.
And the Royals
The Kansas folks are trying to bring the Royals and Chiefs to their state. Is this a good idea?
I mean, we hit on this a little bit. I'm curious more to what you think, Jack. But one of the things that I said the other day, I mean, they're just moving from one Burby area to another one, right?
I want to know what it's gonna, because for a while they were talking about the downtown,
and it seems like people don't want that. They don't want to pay 3/8 of a cent or whatever it was.
What are we doing? I mean, what are we doing?
Is it just about a new stadium? So they want to put it over by like the NASCAR area, right? That part of this.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
They already got like a minor league baseball stadium out there,
and they have the soccer stadium.
Yep.
Soccer stadiums.
They've got that too. I don't know. I guess in terms of just my own, I mean, I know there's tons of politics involved with that entire thing, but
sports.
Like the experience of going to a Royals game is once you get in the stadium, it's great. Everything before that sucks, right? Like I like the stadium. I will miss the stadium a lot when they leave that. But the experience before of driving there, I mean, it's just if you've been to a Chiefs game, you know it too, right?
Yeah.
It's just the entire everything else sucks. There's nothing around it,
Just would stink to like
it's that whole thing.
Like
I hate. But I will.
I like those stadiums. I like they're unique. They're different. And it's the baseball stadium. Kauffman, like certainly, like it would do wonders to have like some more modern amenities and stuff. I think Arrowhead's a great stadium. They've done a lot of renovations to it. And I just love how unique and different it is.
For sure, it feels like the Chiefs will lose a major portion of their home.
Couldn't agree more. I don't like the idea of
or at least a mystique.
People getting priced out. And like, look, every NFL stadium that's been built since the Cowboys built their new stadium looks like the Cowboys stadium. It all looks the same. It would be an indoor stadium. They would lose the outdoor element, and it wouldn't look as cool as Arrowhead.
Both of them are unique, and I would miss both of them for sure.
Dee Riley, wife of Mike Riley, has passed away. What memories do you have of the former First Lady of Husker football?
I don't have a lot of memories, although I will say I read Aaron Soren's article about her today, and
really good.
Kind of that was really. I recommend to go read it because she got to know Dee a little bit just from conversing with her
and practices sometimes,
which was crazy. And they struck up kind of this relationship, but it just, the entire time, and I didn't feel it as much from her as I did from Mike Riley, but man, and I know you probably aren't supposed to talk about this on radio, but every time he did anything, we say a lot of people are good guys, but like he was true. He and I think they were very similar in this.
Good people.
Just like really, really, really good people. And so like there's still a little bit of part of me that's bummed that it didn't work out in some ways for that reason, because they were so good. But yeah,
I couldn't agree more. That Aaron Sorensen piece was really good earlier today. And like, so the one time that I had like any interaction with her, and I don't even think I even said much, but one of my really good friends, he has courtside seats at PBA. And so I went to a game with him back in somewhere in that time frame when Mike Riley was still there. And we went into there's this area for you if you have those type of seats. It's kind of under the arena, under the seats, and you can have food and there's drinks in there and stuff. And they were in there and they were just, talking to each other, talking to other people. And I'd always heard that she was a really nice person. And I thought that Aaron's piece today did a really good job of showing that off.
I agree.
Jack, we've spent plenty of time lately opining about the expanded NCAA basketball tournament that'll surely be here soon.
We have.
Are you a fan?
Lots of discussion about that today.
Many. Oh, yeah.
Boy, it's been most of the show, hasn't it?
I said lately, not today.
Oh, I thought you said today. Sorry. No, I'm not a fan. No, nobody's a fan, are they? There's nobody who's excited about this other than people making money off it.
Correct.
Yeah, zero people. So
it sucks.
Short answer, no. Is it really going to happen though?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's going to be 4-8 teams.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. They're going to ruin the best, that week.
You have achieved perfection with a sporting event and then you screw with it.
That's what they're doing.
It's really too bad. It sucks.
The NHL season comes to a close tonight. Will the Oilers complete the comeback, or will Florida lift the cup at home?
I don't know. I think home. Man, that is going to be some real clenching there for Florida fans.
The clench boys.
I mean, I still think I think Florida is going to do it.
Man, screw it. I'm going to go with Edmonton. This would be awesome. I believe this has happened in the Stanley Cup final one time, and it was back in like the 50s. It's happened in hockey 2 or 3 times total, I think. Let's go Edmonton. I met when I went and did my Eugene Marathon, met a guy there who is an Oilers fan. So shout out to Daniel, Go Oilers. Win Canada's first cup in 30-some years.
Do you cheer for it because you feel bad for Canada because they haven't won a cup
I want them
for
to win
so
it.
long?
It means more to them.
Or do you cheer against them because it's funny and
No,
USA go America?
No,
number one.
see, like if they were playing the Red Wings, well, I'm a diehard Red Wings fan. If they were playing the Rangers, I'd be
diehard.
I don't want a team from Florida to win another cup. I don't like that. It's warm. No.
Florida Panthers would be the one team, if I was forced to name every Major League Sports and professional sports team, that would be the last one.
Well,
as I numbered it on my
maybe
list.
if they lift the cup, you'll have them first.
I don't know. I doubt it.
All right.
The College World Series also comes to a close tonight. Neither team has ever won a title, but which one do you think pulls it off?
I'm taking the Vols. I got the Vols. Head and heart, Vols. I don't see anybody I'm going to piss off here by saying this
you're
whole
fine.
thing, but, you know.
Famously, and Nick will remember this, in Wooden Bats and Rubber Hats, our Fine Baseball segment that is now done. It will go in hibernation ahead of next year. I picked Tennessee to win the whole dang thing before the postseason. Now, was it like 4 weeks ago? Sure, but I still picked it. One seeds don't win, but tonight the one seed is going to get it done.
Trev Albert's chance to get his second national championship
Unreal.
with the Aggies
That should,
in about 3 weeks.
And he probably gets bonuses for
Probably bonuses.
That is so weak. That is garbage. Oh, my gosh, the wind is here.
Yes. That's crazy, right? 2 national champions.
Yeah,
Women's
since he's
tennis, by
arrived.
the way, is the other one.
Shout out to Texas A&M women's tennis. And that was unsportsmanlike content. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
He gives a thumbs up. All right. So that's going to be it for us from another Men's College World Series. Shout out to all the producers who now this is great that I'm on the last show because I can now try to remember all their names. Peter Krenzer did a great job. Joey Colbert did a great job. Ben Geezer did a great job. Mark Onweiler helped back there. I think that was all of the people back in the studio, right? Jake Janisek. Thank you, Jacob Janisek. Shout out to Jake Janisek. Josh Otson was here. Jimmy Chavez was here. And on the last day, young Nick gets his sea legs. This is the first time he's ever produced on site at the Omaha Baseball Village.
He did a great job.
Shout out to all of them. Nick Hanley, Gary Sharp, Mike Schaefer, Connor Happer, Jack Mitchell, and me. And I guess Jimmy.
Thanks to me.
Thanks.
You know.
Let's do another one to me. And thanks everyone for listening. So obviously a labor of love as we do this every single year. It's sad that it has to come to an end, but Jack, if I have to go back into an air-conditioned studio tomorrow, I guess I will do it.
I'm not sure I would say I'm sad it's over, but it was fun while
You
it
were
lasted.
barely here. You were here for one day.
I just want to get in the car.
Jack just wants to get in the car. Why don't you do this? Start walking, hop on your phone, and we can finish this up on your phone. But no, in all seriousness, thanks everyone for listening. Enjoy the game tonight. We all like the balls. Nick, do you like the balls to win? All right, so congrats to Texas A&M on winning a national championship. We're going to be very, very wrong. Going to be very, very wrong. All right, we will send you up into the booth. It's Kevin Kugler. It is Scott Graham. John Bishop wandering out there somewhere, just dunking himself into sunscreen. Hopefully.
Wearing pants.
For Peter Krenzer back at the Zone Studios, for Nick Grimm, for Jack Mitchell, I'm Josh Peterson. Also with production assistance from Mark Onweiler. Enjoy the baseball. We'll be back on the air tomorrow, 6A to 6P. We're back in the studio, baby. See you later. Enjoy the baseball. Go Vols.